I forgot to put myself on the screen. Let's try that out again, shall we? Lords and ladies, welcome back to MyStreet. 5 years later. With your... I clicked it too soon. With your host, Jacob Butter. Whatever. There we go. Ah. Okay. Monitor's not even... Did I... Nope, didn't plug in the monitor. I'm a bit, scatterbrained today. Reason why, actually, is while I was preparing this stream, fun fact, a giant hornet entered my room, and, so then, that forced me to, vacate, while we tried to make it vacate, and, as a result of some... Yeah, kind of like push back a bunch of stuff. I was going to do a different review today as well as this one, but I thought, nah, we'll just stick to the Twitch. I'll stick to the fun stuff. Because ultimately I was also going to stream Nightmare Daycare on Gacha Review, but I realized, yeah, no, because considering we've just had the Bon and Jacob Pops thing, having that versus Nightmare Daycare, it is quite a literal night and day situation. People aren't ready for that, so we're not going to bother with that for right now. With that in mind, this is something that I should have done a long time ago anyway, so regardless of however late I'm or however the fact that I didn't actually take socks with me so my feet are freezing right now, despite any of those things, this should have been done back in April. I forgot to check the dates, and by the time that I realized it was already months down the line, I thought, well, okay, I'll sort out the stuff that I'm doing now, and then I will eventually come back to address this. And then some stuff started to happen. A few things began to circulate within the AFMAL sphere of things. I say few, but it's vastly more than anything else that's happened in the past few years. So this definitely felt like the occasion to come back, even though it was meant to be dictated by the actual time itself. So we will be addressing a few things before we get to the remake. Because, as it turns out, one of our guests is not in the loop today. And that guest is not Aiden. Aiden's the one who is in the loop.
Yes,
he knows.
I am in the loop. Hello.
Alright, it's oh, whoops.
Ah,
I keep pressing buttons. Alright.
that hornet got you real messed up. The hornet messed with your brain.
Yeah, this is also, I've also had dinner, so I'm fed Jacob for the time being.
Yeah.
I still, of course, have popcorn and milk, because that's the classic, combination.
You know, I have extreme fear of bees or any bee-related creature. I run away whenever I see them. I run away. I was stung as a child
I don't run away, but I do kind of like freeze up. Yeah.
I was stung as a child twice. It was bad.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was stung as a child twice. Technically speaking, I was stung twice at one point, and then once at a different time. But anyway, yeah, ultimately not the point. We've got to catch somebody up, and it seems like I pressed the one foot at the segue. Hello, Maya. Welcome back.
It's been a while.
It certainly has. Yes. Oh, and now my computer battery is running low. Okay.
Oh no.
You're striking out today.
Yeah, you know what's also that was a good thing, that I got the charger for my computer down here, but the charger for my audio interface is still upstairs, so I'm gonna have to go into the potentially hornet infested room so my mic doesn't die on me.
I mean, you know, you just have your brother risk it. I'm sure he won't.
Yeah.
Mind.
I think he's asleep right now.
Oh.
And also, why would I need him? Why would I ask him to do it anyway? I'm not going to put him through that. If anything, actually, like his he's had the same like child experiences with insects as I have, but yet obviously because he was younger, it left even more of a mark on him. So that'd be even worse, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have been stung by a bee once, but it was 3 bees at once.
Oh. Sounds painful.
Well, on the palm of my hand.
Oh yeah,
even more painful.
As you say for me and him, yeah, when I got stung twice, he got stung 3 times. Or was it 3 or 5? Either way, it's because we were like out playing in leaves and we found a wasp nest. That was the second experience. The first experience was where it was one time a wasp flew into my mouth and stung me on the tongue. Yeah.
Oh no.
Nah, I was at a tennis court, and you know how the tennis court, like, the net has poles on the ends?
Yeah.
Put my hand over one of the poles. There was a beehive inside of the pole.
Oh,
wow.
no.
So
That's not good.
fun. I don't know how they fit a beehive inside of the pole.
I mean, you know, beehives are pretty small.
Okay. Yeah. Keep
Evidently.
keep up this topic. I'm gonna go and collect the thing.
Okay. But I mean, you know, you should be able to keep up with this video pretty easily because technically it is the remake of the pilot of MyStreet, so you know.
Well, this is I'm pretty sure I've seen this before.
Oh. I don't know why Jacob said you were unaware of it.
No, I'm unaware of any news after she announced that MyStreet was coming back.
Oh.
I watched that one TikTok. Was it TikTok or a Twitter?
It was on YouTube. I mean,
I
there's a
don't
whole
know.
YouTube channel called MyStreet. Wait, what is it? MyStreet
Yeah,
one
yeah,
last
she
time.
renamed. Yeah, she renamed.
Afma Fantasy.
Yeah. Wait, what's it?
She renamed Afma Fantasy to MyStreet 5 year. I was gonna say MyStreet 5 years later. No, that's what this series is called.
Yeah.
The review series. MyStreet one last time.
Yeah. So apparently there's been more stuff that happened, but I don't actually know because I have been like, okay, kind of busy, evidently. I don't remember the last time I hung out with anybody in this friend group.
I just remembered that it was like a different cable that was downstairs, so you'd have to go and get it after all.
Hey. Hey, by the way, we're both wearing tie-dye shirts, Jacob. Although mine's a Scooby-Doo tie-dye shirt.
Okay. Would you like to show that for the camera or just...
Sure. Listen, I don't like...
Oh my goodness. No, so I'm not saying it to you, Aiden. I'm saying it to Maya, because what's happening here?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. I was like, I wanted to get Maya's reaction, particularly, like physically, because that's always, like, a treat to have, but yeah, I guess that's not going to happen this time.
To be fair, I don't really...
I can do that.
I don't keep my cam on at all during streams because I kind of bounce around a lot in my chair, and I look really weird. So, you know, I am very hyper. If you actually pay attention to me whenever I have my cam on, so it's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna... I get embarrassed. I'm like, oh, God. I don't want to look at myself doing that.
Yes, I have seen it. Yeah, for me at least, like you know, that I used to not do like anything with face cam on. Was like okay, well, because particularly all the YouTubers that I watched at that time, you know, all two of them, decided didn't. It felt like that. I watch way fewer YouTubers than I do nowadays. But most of them, you know, face cam hadn't really quite caught on yet, and then one of them actually like transitioned to making face cam stuff, and I was like, wait, this doesn't feel the same. I like to like picture it in my head, but over the years, because it was because of these reviews particularly, where we would pause for a long time and talk over it, and all you would see on the screen was just a paused image. I didn't like that. It's like I want to have like some sort of like movement.
Fair enough.
For the people, you know.
I mean, honestly, what I imagine during the Gacha reviews is like people's icons talking. Like whenever, like especially Emily, I always just imagine her icon, not her face, because she's barely ever shows her face. I just imagine like her like actual Gacho C that's in her like icon being the animated one.
Well, yeah, if I knew how to do PNG tubers back in the day, that would absolutely have been what I did. Which now that I think about it means that if I know about PNG tubers back in the day, I probably wouldn't be using face cam to the extent that I am now either, because that was the inspiration behind that.
I mean, if we want it, we could always do like in character reviews of like, I don't know, like Fallen Angels, The Mutant Crawler, like one of our shows or something, and use PNG tubers. That could be fun.
Yeah, well, next time we do Lion Gate, that's probably how we oh wait, no, we stopped doing those in character. Next time we do Aftermath, would be those. But then again, we did also, you know, use our D&D characters fairly recently for a reaction. So yeah, but I mean, because like the specific reason I chose to start using face cam more than I was. If I hadn't like if that thought hadn't crossed my mind, I would have gone a different direction. Not because I prefer one or the other. But yeah, it's one of those things. So, yeah, sometimes you think like, oh yeah, if I had to make this decision here, how many things would be different? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I get those a lot.
Yeah, so this is actually my phone camera.
Okay,
that I have
fair enough then.
Bluetooth to my laptop because I broke the laptop with a camera. So, so we're using the laptop with the camera that I broke.
I see. Okay.
I lost that. Like, there's a little piece that's like right next to the camera. I lost the little piece of metal. Kind of just disappeared. I don't know when it disappeared. I replaced my screen one time and it was there, and then I replaced it the next time and it wasn't there. So yeah, it kind of just disappeared. And the other laptop I fried the motherboard on. So that one is not functioning.
You said that they're the best things like out of pocket, honestly.
Average engineering behavior. I fried my laptop. Completely normal.
I feel like that shouldn't be average, but fair enough. That's,
okay, but think about it.
Give me faith.
What we learn about in school is how to not break things, and therefore we must learn how to break things first.
Not sure if that's precisely how that follows, but okay.
I know why it broke, kind of, in theory. But then every time I bring it up, I'm like, but then again, this didn't happen, therefore this shouldn't have happened, but somehow this happened without me knowing that it happened.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
For it to happen. Like, this happened because of this, but I don't know how this happened.
Alright, and on the subject of things that have been, like broken down and reconstructed, the remake. Although actually we did say I was gonna show Maya something first. I wanted her actual physical reaction to. Given that she knows what's happening, it's not gonna be entirely the same. But just because I'm curious, I'm going to I'm going to break one of my own rules, and I'm gonna actually. Hang on a second.
Start on the wrong video.
Well, I'm going to start... Yes, I'm going to do that, but in addition to that, I'm trying to find... What was the file name?
Always an amazing question. I never remember the file name. I re-download the file most of the time. And then I'll find it like a month later because I named it exactly what I named it the second time. Just without like a number or something. And then I'm like, wait, so how couldn't I find this last time when I literally named it basically the exact same thing?
Yeah, I'm wondering why one of these is in yellow, and yet the other one. Oh, for crying out loud!
This is going real good, real good.
Yeah, okay. It's not even in the directory. I changed it to sort by date. And it didn't work. Right, I'm gonna have to re-download this. Jeez. This has never happened before. Like, oh yeah, the file's there. Nope. Unless it has some, like, safeguard around it, but I don't think it should. Not more so than any of the other stuff, I would have thought. Right, let's try this again. Gives me the option to download the full channel now.
The full channel.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Not now, anyway.
You should download the full channel of Athmos channel. I'm sure that won't destroy your computer. The amount of files.
I mean, I have twice the storage now, but I'm not gonna tempt fate. Anyway, here we go. Just to see what Maya thinks of this.
I remember when I met you from the start.
Oh, wait. Have I seen this?
I think, well, you mentioned you saw something on TikTok about it, so you probably saw it on TikTok, I'm honest.
I mean, it depends. If you saw the trailer itself or you saw someone talking about the trailer, they're two different things.
There was an after video that I saw a while ago, and I was like on call with Matt, sobbing at the time.
You probably saw this.
It was probably this.
I was like, I don't know what he showed me.
Okay, we can probably ignore this then. Honestly, we don't need it. We don't need it. Okay.
Did it come out around the same time as the announcement?
This was the announcement.
Okay, yeah. Then I said I saw that MyStreet was coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Just because you've received information doesn't necessarily dictate how you saw the information. Okay.
Yeah, I do not keep up with anything.
Although,
my best friend keeps up with everything.
Although there's one thing about that video that FML got wrong when recreating it in animated scenes. You know how they
I feel like there's several. There
are several, but one major thing that annoys me is she showed clips from Love Love Paradise based off the way the outfits were and the setting was, right? And you know who wasn't there? Lawrence! You know who was in that bit? Lawrence wasn't at Love Love Paradise!
So there's actually a write it out video that discusses this actually. His theory is that apparently because of the way that the world is ended up being like reset, that it's like it's an actual different version that's meant to be like another like happier recreation. Kind of undercuts the idea that was behind like Irene not being able to recreate her own happiness and not trying to force that anymore. But that was the proposition. I will also say in that one single in the couple of scenes we saw there, I don't remember any scene where Caitlyn and Kawaii Chan were, first of all, that good of friends at the time, and secondly,
weren't they
whispering to Aphmau while she was sneaking behind Aaron. Doesn't seem like in character for any of them in Phoenix Drop High. So there are a number of other things that probably can be addressed that are different to what actually happened. But the Lawrence was the most obvious one, yes.
Also, Caitlyn definitely wouldn't be whispering like that because she didn't like Aaron in high school at all. Like, when she saw Aphmau and Aaron hanging out, she was like, get away from that brute. Get away.
She might have whispered disapprovingly, but again, she wouldn't have been sneaking behind and stalking him either, so, you know.
She'd be like, that brute's going to eat her. He's turning red.
Yeah, the real scene should have been maybe something to do with like with potentially like Aaron walking past Aphmau. She notices him. Kaden's just shaking her head disapprovingly, and Kawaii Chan's, I don't know, in a locker taking pictures or something. That'd probably be the accurate version. Maybe that was less cinematic. Maybe it is just a timeline reset or something. And Akira's right. We won't know until season 7, but. I'm sure there's a number of other things in there, but again, you, Aiden, have already made a video on this matter, so if you want to see anyone's opinions on that, check out Aiden's video.
Well, I didn't go too in-depth with it. Most of that reaction was me actually responding in the moment, being like, oh my god, this is actually happening.
All of our reactions are responding in the moment.
Yeah,
that's
but
kind of what we do.
It was less of a review and more of a, oh my god, this is actually happening, because I was recording that whole panel because I had a feeling that something was going to show up. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, fair enough.
Need my reaction just in case for views.
Yeah, you know why I didn't record that? Well, actually, two reasons. One, because I found out halfway through and I was in Galicia at the time. That's the second reason. But well,
because Afman was hyping that up for ages, so I figured something would actually happen.
Yeah, third reason is because I actually tried to do my reaction to the whole like VidCon VOD last time, and VidCon themselves actually just took down the video, so I wasn't able to post it anywhere. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna bother this time because it's not gonna work.
I mean, fair. I mean, I just.
But you succeeded, so that's good.
I just clipped a bit of that reaction. Like, I didn't record. Like, obviously, I was recording a lot more. Like, there's some raw footage of me just kind of vaguely sitting there, kind of watching. I didn't really say much during the general panel, but like, I did record like it's probably like a 20-minute length recording in general because I recorded like 20 minutes in.
That panel was way longer than 20 minutes. I guess you started halfway through as well.
Yeah, well, I figured since Aphmau said explicitly, wait till the end or near the end or something. It was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna wait a bit before recording this.
I see. Honestly, that's a great YouTuber tactic, by the way. Having generating hype for something at the beginning of a video in question, and then waiting for the end for the payoff. That's a good way to increase retention.
Yeah,
but anyway, it is annoying. So that's so it's got to be done sparingly, but it works sometimes. And in the case of this remake, I guess, because everyone knew that there were going to be surprises spliced in between, that they had a different reason for certain payoffs. Because we're going to notice this, segueing back into the remake for a second, that there are going to be a number of changes. I remember watching the streams where Aphmau talked about the video before it came out, and apparently some of this was... Oh, whoops, didn't mean to put it on the screen yet, but fair enough, I'll keep it there. Some of this was things that that she wanted to include but wasn't able to at the time due to editing restrictions.
That was probably the ending scene. That's probably one of the major things she's referring to, like the way that scene was.
It's not the only thing, but that is one of them. Yes.
The actual going in the moving truck. The moving truck was just outside the original.
Yeah, well, there are like other things as well. Yeah, that I'm thinking like, yes, some of that would make sense to me. But some of it also, wait a minute, why did you keep this or change this thing? So that's probably what we're gonna. This will be more of there'll be a breakdown of original versus remake for sure. Beforehand, actually, there was a comment that Aphmau made. So this is not the starting point for the entire series. Only episode 1 is going to be made for now, possibly in the future, but the current time is not on my plate. The feel of Season 1 is still true to what Season 1 was. It may have background elements of storytelling, implying that Season 1 wasn't storytelling, but whatever.
No, I think she means background elements of just, like, kind of like, I guess how Season 3, like, had little plot threads sewed throughout the whole season instead of when they were relevant.
I will say the first season was not very storytelling in the same way the rest of the series is. It was a lot of individual episodes that are not connected, aside from like the trio towards the end and the overall development of Zane and Aaron figuring stuff out with Aphmau and relationships with others, because they...
If we're talking about if we're talking about like episodes that are connected to each other, you can count a lot of the Christmas stuff clumped together. There are May family dates, the Akon stuff that you briefly talked about, the neighborhood plays as well.
Mostly towards the end.
The Christmas stuff was actually near the beginning.
The trio with the Romeves was like late teens, I'm pretty sure, episode numbers.
Yeah, because like Vlad didn't really come into like the middle of the season, and then we also
this is
Zane...
your threshold for storytelling when Vlad shows up.
no, but whole Romave plotline didn't become more of a plot point till like the middle-ish, because
Vlad for the win.
Yeah, there wasn't. Honestly, Season 1 didn't have many plot lines sewed throughout the episodes, like subtle sewing through plot lines. Like Mrs. Dysart. When I write that show, again, like I will subtly sew certain plot points in, like the whole mentioning. What was it? I had the school be mess. Was it? I forget. Wait, which one was?
Are you talking about like how someone complained about the story, but the school being messy, and then that became an episode to itself?
Yeah,
is that what you're trying to say?
Like, I actually do try to sew plot points despite things. It's not like Fallen Angels where each episode feeds into the next episode, and there's building to this huge story. It's more of these tiny stories that actually kind of tie in with each other, kind of referenced and built up through other stories, but it's also kind of like done in a way where you can watch them individually and still understand it, I guess.
Yeah, this kind of method is definitely more slice of life.
Season 1 kind of just had a bunch of one-off stories that didn't always connect, or like, and also the amount of characters.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, the amount. I mean, what's weird because like in Season 1, I think there were a lot of intriguing characters, technically speaking, but they're kind of just haphazardly thrown in the season when you think about it. Like, you have the swim team that Travis is associated with, like the pirate characters. You had all the characters
McLeod, yes.
Yeah, McLeod. You have all those characters who could have been interesting in concept, but in execution, were just kind of weird Easter eggs that were just kind of here for no reason.
Yeah, the original idea behind MyStreet was that it was different characters from all of the different roleplays at the time interacting in a modern setting.
Diaries.
Yeah, it became just the Diaries cast because I guess they were the more interesting ones to write for. But yeah, so there are a couple of other people who are like, you know, interspersed between. Of course, we can't forget the Mod World cast as well that were in this significantly more than the Minecraft Dials ones. But going back to what Dwight was getting at originally, yeah, so as I was saying, the format of season 1 definitely feels more slice of life. What it would do, of course, is even if there was whatever hints it might apply to like the episode that came immediately after, for example. So it is not setting up things that will happen very far down the line, but it's setting up things that will happen like almost immediately, like the payoff within the next 2 or 3 days, depending on like when the next episode came out. So that kind of pacing. And then of course there's the fact that, you know, the characters will still remember the information. They'll call back to other stuff that would happen. So eventually, you know, that's how the story kind of developed at that point, was that more stuff, they had more experiences together. So that's where you got more of a sense of them. And it clearly worked because, again, we talk about the iconic nature of these characters, and that very much started here for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I do
not
really like
up high first, but that's beside the point.
I do really like the vibes of this episode, and I do kind of wish the story she actually continued remaking stuff with this, because honestly, the vibes of this actually work really good, and I like it a lot more than MyStreet season 1, because MyStreet season 1 just, I don't know, just the vibes, the vibe. I mean, the vibes were there, but also, I think this is definitely.
Well, I'm not sure. As far as this goes, I'll obviously talk about this more in detail, but because I'm going to point out like a lot of the changes. But overall, this remake isn't actually that different to the original first episode. But we will talk about the differences.
Yeah, all the stuff it adds though is great.
And we will do so right now.
Iconic first shot recreated.
On the review. Yep.
Yes.
And also, Aphmau's Galaxy print is different already, so that's that. We didn't get this shot before, actually, and also the music itself is also different. We don't have the same classic Aphmau tracks, which might have been a missed opportunity, honestly, because, you know, the classic Aphmau tracks, despite the fact that they were used to death, people really adored and really associate with Aphmau specifically, despite the fact they're, you know, epidemic soundtracks that anyone can find, pretty much.
I feel like used to death is an understatement.
Faster car, anyone?
Oh god. You know what missed opportunity is this episode though? Lack of a logo. Because MyStreet season 1 didn't have a logo, so I think that would have been kind of cool.
This one doesn't either.
I think it'd be kind of cool if Aphmau retroactively gave season 1 a quote-unquote logo associated with it, because like season 2 had a logo, and like every season onwards. So like if she like gave like a cool like logo for this remake and just be like, hey, whenever we're talking about season 1, this is technically what its logo would have looked like if I had the resources at the time to make it. Look how cool it is.
I suppose, or I guess the idea to even do it in the first place, because it wasn't a standard practice necessarily.
Yeah.
Unless you did it in Diaries, but I forget that much. I haven't watched Diaries in ages.
I think Diaries. I don't know when Diaries had a logo. I know Diaries had logo in season 2, but I don't know if it had logo in season 1.
Well, there you go. So, well, I guess season 2, I guess, was happening around the same time as my season 1. So, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah, as far as like making a logo, considering that this was not meant to be a full
series
of like the entire series, yes, that's probably why it wasn't done. If this had been the start of the start of like a whole thing, then first of all, certain other things in the episode wouldn't have happened either, which we will get to. But yeah, there would have been more of a focus on that, I suppose. Although things have got more focus actually. I say like, you know, Moika's performance as Kawaii Chan immediately night and day from the enthusiasm before, and it's helped by the faces now, the iconic MyStreet faces that started.
I love the anime faces in this remake. They're so good. So
you like anime faces in general, but yes, that is
anime faces are fun. I like to do them in Fallen Angels, but Fallen Angels tone is very dark sometimes, so it's kind of hard to put anime faces in it casually. I'm gonna be honest.
Just give like half of the women the anime mom hair.
Anime mom hair. What does that look like?
We're talking about ponytail for all of the women that die.
We're talking about like anime facial expressions at this point, but
yeah, but if you're gonna kill them off anyway.
I'm not gonna just kill off characters willy-nilly. God, I've killed off.
I was gonna say Alana has 2 moms, and they're both alive at this point. So
yeah, I haven't Disneyed any of her moms yet, or at all. I probably won't Disney her moms at all. I don't really plan on doing that, if I'm honest.
Oh,
I don't see.
Like, well, maybe.
I don't see much of a reason to Disney her moms. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a point to Disney them.
I don't even remember them.
Well, then I guess
they're not in the series enough to have their death be impactful enough, anyways.
Yeah, they're dead to me.
Like, how
you got the lesson from Carrie.
Dang. You know, Carrie will never be able to rest. Okay, Carrie, why can't let the girl rest? God.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Oh, see? The fact that was so perfect.
Let her be dead.
Is Carrie the angel side, like the second in command
of the Alphanies? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, there's an important person. I don't remember their name. They were dead really quickly.
Let her be dead.
That's the whole meme. That's the whole meme, was the fact that she showed up for 1 episode, died in said episode, and kind of served as all in the fridge trope for Diogenes for a bit.
Yes, we love that.
It's like, I think she existed once.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh
exactly.
yes, I say that as if people exist more than once, but like.
Well, I mean, she was in the remake, so I guess twice.
I mean, well, the remake was just reskinning what the original did, sort of.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Unlike this remake, actually, and also the Dire Survival one that came out around the same time.
I mean,
our method of remakes is that we will keep the original script and we'll just polish the visuals. That's our method, mostly because of Aphmau that we started doing that. Another thing that Rideout addressed in the exact same video was the whole both series being canon to each other kind of thing, and that whole diagram that Aphmau drew on the spot that's been memed to death as well. And
I can see Aphmau standing behind a board for like a bunch of.
But still,
I can see Aphmau standing behind a board, a bunch of red string, like pointing to stuff and pictures and stuff. Actually, and she's like, "This is what this means."
There's actually a picture of a board where there's like a bunch of circles in different color codes and showing like specific like worlds or something. So the MyStreet multiverse is all but confirmed. Probably not the way that I mentioned it in 2018, but it's there.
Yeah. I actually, okay, here's the thing. I do like this style of remake where you do kind of remaster, where you do change some stuff around, as long as you didn't change the coreness, which I think this remake doesn't change the coreness of what
that's why
the
I said it's like
was.
Similar. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel out of place with the rest of the series, apart from again certain points.
Yeah, there is one continuity point, which Aphmau's famously bad at continuity. That is Aphmau's major issue. She's famously bad at continuity. If I was doing a remake like this, to be fair, I think I wouldn't step on toes of continuity realistically, because I tend to, my brain keeps all the lore in my head all times.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying about like the diagram particularly. Because we remembered that by the time that Aiden finally managed to convince me to do the Musengo remake, that the first and foremost, that one, that I said I was going to keep the script the same, so there was no question, because I knew someone was going to ask, oh, which version of the story is canon? And I can say both of them are canon because they are both the same story, and that was my safety net behind that, and then we did the same method for Fallen Angels, albeit with, a little bit of like added extra polish at the beginning of the first one, which I didn't tell Aiden I was doing.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, to be fair, sometimes in the remakes, I do add a little bit extra, not lines, but like episode 6's remake, we actually got to see the fight between Carrie and Kurt. So I do tend to add a little bit more sometimes, just a tad bit more.
Yeah,
also nothing like, that again, goes like against what the original
thing, that
did.
Was the stage blocking was different in that one too. But again, all the lines were the same. That was
the script was the same.
For the Mutant Girl remix. Yeah, Mutant Girl is like the only script change I made was I added back a deleted scene, and that was that was it. And it doesn't change anything for the rest of the story bit, but yeah, it was one thing that was like, okay, I'm gonna put that back in. So the remakes are the more polished version for this stuff, and this is this is more polished in some ways, but also I've noticed as well, like as far as like view counts go with these different ones, there's ones like that, like over the years the remake has stayed at roughly the same view counts when it first uploaded, but yet the original seems to still like climb up a couple of like 1 million or 2, so like every year. So that might be saying that people care more about the continuity than might otherwise appear. So,
or it's just nostalgia, where people just go back to the original, or be like, or forget the remake even existed, even though the remake is better.
Maybe, but if you search up the title of either of these, they both come up. So you would think like, oh, wait a minute, why does this one have a different galaxy print that looks far more polished and clear? Oh, wait a minute. You would think that at that point.
Well, one of them is a HD skin with drawn assets. The other is just pixels.
Or they look up playlists.
We know why, but I'm saying it will.
Playlists are
in
also
people's minds.
Well,
I usually look up entire seasons as playlists if I'm looking for this stuff.
Oh yeah,
playlists are
MyStreet season 1 playlist.
That's why I always update the playlist of Fallen Angels when I do a remake and take out the original and put in the thing. Or at least the season-based playlist.
This is true. I've done the same thing.
Like season 1 and season 2. Well, I haven't obviously remade anything in season 2, but with season 1, I just take out the original and put in the remake. Although, if you do want to find the original though in a playlist, you could just go to the whole Fallen Angels full playlist of every single episode and every single product related to Fallen Angels.
That for the Mutant Girl as well. Actually.
Yeah, but like if you want to look specifically season 1, you mostly just see the remakes.
Yeah, there's a chance the Mutant Girl one might play in reverse, because it might be set to newest first, but it's sorted by date, whether either way.
Amazing! Right? See, I knew you girls would like it.
You sure?
That's an interesting like shot change though. So instead of like having Aphmau in the center there, they actually had her like behind the camera behind Caitlyn.
Are we can afford this place?
Maybe so it doesn't look like it's just like a whole like back and forth and left to right justified shots. That does get boring after a while. That was only one of the critiques.
Well, that's
of,
what early MyStreet did.
Justice League.
Early
that's
MyStreet
what I'm comparing it to.
Oh. Yes.
I'm just curious about that.
Yes, I mean that was another example that people will be saying like, okay, that's one of the things that might have mentioned. If you ever seen like critiques of like the Whedon cut of Justice League, that's another thing that people have mentioned, that a lot of those shots are just the people talking left and right justified shots. It's the same issue.
You, Aphmau-senpai, are you sure about this? Yes, I'm sure.
So, what do you even do for a living to make the kind of money for this place?
It's a night job.
Yeah,
and we never learn what that is. I'm still annoyed.
Over 5 years, and we still have no answer.
Addressed.
Honestly, okay. From a writing perspective, sometimes you write in the small little stuff that you may not necessarily know what you want to do with it, but you're like, hey, I can maybe go back to this at a later date. And then sometimes you just don't go.
Like there was a plan.
And sometimes you don't go back to it, so then it just ends up being a weird lingering question that you never answered. Where it's like, well, that's never been clarified.
Actual, genuine biggest issue of season 1.
That they never addressed that she has a job.
The most... Well, no, they address she has a job, but they don't address what that job was originally. By the time she starts like managing the Kawaii Chan Maid Suite Cafe, it's presumed that she resigned from whatever it was, but that's never actually stated either. She just could be pulling a day and night shift for all we know.
I mean, yeah, but she also disappears for a whole summer. So realistically speaking, how is she pay? Does her job not work in the summer? Is she like a teacher?
A night teacher?
Yeah, well, I mean, well, night school is a thing, but normally night school is actually evening, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, so I'm like, dang.
And
imagine not having to work during the summer.
Adult classes also continue during the summer.
We don't want to talk about it. I don't want word to get around to Gareth and Lawrence.
Okay, we're gonna pin on that because I forgot to read the rest of this comment. So they're talking about like the whole like elements of storytelling thing that we got sidetracked. What I was trying to say about that was that I wouldn't not call my season 1 storytelling. I'd call it a different type of storytelling. That's what I was trying to get at. So which is like how I feel about what season 1 was. Okay. Events season 1 will be expanded upon more, and some fluff that happened may be removed to make room for more characters and story development. So while characters might experience hardships for Remake has ever done, big if there, I'll be trying to keep it lighthearted but more intricate. Again, that's if I ever decide to make a Remake a whole season, but we'll see. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this Remake. It was so fun and started to rewrite, and maybe also me to add in scenes that I wanted originally, but I had no idea how to structure back then. Also, a heads up, improv scenes were removed since it was just me talking to myself and trying to delay by adding in things that I wasn't sure I wanted via improv. Yeah. Some things just got done that way back there, but that was back then when I was learning. Now I am very mature, and yes, there are adult jokes in this because I'm mature now. Haha, good luck nerds, but you're my nerds. So, as far as the more mature stuff goes, going back to the stream that where she was talking about like the behind the scenes of this, well, actually, no, it was a different stream, actually, where she was reacting to the first 4 episodes of MyStreet, which is why I heard about the whole, like, pizza thing. In that stream, the reference towards Aphmau's job doesn't say what it actually was, but she does say that it might have been the first adult joke of the series. However, I remember back in the day there was a comment that was, I think, posted by Jason.
Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever.
Yes, the comment was job might be FNAF, which was weird because Aphmau already had a FNAF series that was going on around that same time anyway. But also that would have potentially led into, I guess, the more like fantastical side of things. You've had like a sidetrack thing in the same style of Roommates, which also had Aphmau as a security guard in that one.
Well, so, maybe this was because you said that MyStreet was originally going to be like just a combo of a lot of characters from different things she was doing. Maybe this was supposed to be the introduction to the FNAF series, or like a shout out for that series that never actually happened. The shout out.
Yeah, it could have been. We could have had Claire, Aphmau's sister, from that series. That was never expanded upon.
Aphmau does not have a sister though, canonically, for this version.
Which is why I'm saying we could have had that. Oh, if you're talking about like the actual creator Aphmau, no, she doesn't. I remember that from Draw My Life, but yeah.
She was an only child.
Though. Yeah, got plenty of cousins though. I remember that much. But yeah, so it could be one or the other, because the adult joke thing caught me off guard, saying that it could be that. She could have been like teasing people on the stream. Again, to this day, we don't know, and I said this in the original episode of like 5 years later, and I have no new information to add 5 years later.
Dang.
Which is crazy that this has been going on for 5 years.
Well, it's been going on for 4, really, but yeah, like it's close enough.
Found out, they would be so mad. What? You can't.
That's the biggest like extra clue there, that Gareth would be mad about whatever it was.
Trust us.
Kawaii Chan, you literally follow Aphmau when she's with Aaron just to take pictures of them.
This is expanded. Yeah, we didn't. This was that was not exactly what was implied there, but yeah. We would soon, in the original, we would soon come to find out that that was the case. That's why we didn't trust Kawaii Chan. Oh, I guess the big move already kind of set that up, in theory.
It's my ship! Kawaii Chan promises! Outside of that, you can trust me! Don't worry, Kawaii Chan.
Outside that one red flag, you know, I'm fine. Absolutely.
I won't trust you, but I'll live in you. Oh, cool.
Still an iconic line. By the way, Ahmad did say Kawaii Chan was supposed to be a yandere character at one
point. Originally, yes. But she kind of abandoned that. I don't know. I forget the exact point where she abandoned it. Maybe it was like midway through Phoenix Drop High. I think it was maybe like mid to late Phoenix Drop High season 1. I think she abandoned that, and like the time season 2 rolled around, that was effectively a very that character trait have been like kind of erased from Kawaii Chan, or like to the point where
I don't know, because the thing is that most yanderes are like out for themselves, right? Kawaii Chan was a yandere for other people, which is a little bit different. Because actually, you know, that started off like slow build up in the big move, continued for season 1, and I guess but by Phoenix Drop High, they decided there was like a different origin, which again, continuity was not what happened. Because in the big move, she said that she was going to get into shipping, and just recently started that. So I got a Discord call, and I was trying to keep a train of thought and accidentally press the play button at the same time. Yeah. So what was I say? Oh yes. So continuity error aside, it was something I guess that got addressed once, but then actually no, it was really season 3 where like she finally where she was told she was trained to back off first, and then afterwards, well, I guess any time that they call back to her shipping thing was supposed to be her yandere traits, but because by that point she was getting more and more stuff with her, then it wasn't really like a soul thing, so it wasn't like a yandere character. She had was a character with some aspects of yandere by proxy.
Yeah. I mean,
that's an interesting way to phrase it.
But I mean, like, Aphmau has this weird thing where, like, she'll give certain characters character traits, but as time goes on, said character trait will become weaker and weaker till it, like, practically vanishes. Aphmau being a prime example. You see, if you look at season 1, her being very competitive and quick to anger was a genuine character trait of hers. And it was kind of a thing during Phoenix Drop High. But the time season 2 of MyStreet rolls around, that character trait started to go away. And then by the time season 3 happened, she didn't really have it anymore. Or at least have it in the way it was portrayed. Because the way it was portrayed, it was like a more cartoonish, like, kind of anger / competitiveness. Versus like she really didn't get angry at all, if I'm honest, like in some of the later seasons. Like, yeah, there were some times where she got peeved on rare occasion, but honestly, again, that being a character trait of hers that kind of really wasn't that apparent as time went on.
Well, I mean, okay, so the anger aspect faded, but the competitive thing definitely was still around by season 3. One of my favorite episodes of season 3 is the cooking competition, where that is very much a thing, you know. As far as like all the fights that happen, and Aphmau trying to prove herself as a good cook to Aaron, which by the way also came back in side stories many years after that, as well as the diet episode, which is competing against, I guess, her own psyche, I suppose. As far as season 2 goes, there weren't many competitions for her to take part in, aside from the second round of the kissing competition, which was a thing.
I know, that was such a bad plot fight.
For the most part, there weren't many competitions, so it wouldn't have.
But I mean, the anger was still a major part of her. Like, she was very quick to anger.
If the anger was brought upon by competition, as you were describing, then it wouldn't have.
Yeah, but even then, go back to Phoenix Drop High. Like, Aaron being mildly dismissive of her caused her to go into a fury, for example. I mean,
she was 14 at that point, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but that was also a thing in season 1. The writing between the timelines doesn't really change, if I'm honest. Like, I feel like the characters don't really... Most of the characters aren't written too drastically different, unless it's hyper-intentional. Because, like, Aphmau, for example, isn't written too different in season 1 or in the Phoenix Drop High.
Aaron...
well, actually, a lot of characters, the way that they were introduced, there was either a change in Phoenix Drop High from their dynamic as adults, and they were kind of the same as they would ultimately stay, or they themselves were introduced in such a way that would seem very different, but still somewhat recognizable, and then they would mellow out as they matured.
They pretty much,
for example, actually,
like if you're watching like the timeline, they pretty much near instantly mellowed out as soon as you hit season 2, which. Season 2 of Phoenix Drop High really feels like you took the characters from, like, mid-season 3 and just threw him in high school rather than aging up the character slightly from season 1 of Phoenix Up High, because that is very different.
Yeah, so season 2 you can definitely say. Season 1,
especially the college one. The college ones feel like season 5 versions of them were in college rather than the ones from Phoenix Drop High going into college. There is a difference between that kind of writing. Because
I feel like you have to take into account that some of those characters have disappeared for 2 years already.
I mean, yeah, but it's like they evolve to their most evolved version themselves just to immediately devolve in their next season to their unevolved versions of themselves.
Yes and no. Gareth went through college, for example. And I feel like having to rebuild that more mature self in his case makes more sense.
Yeah,
I don't know,
the obvious example of the character decline was, again, to reference another Write It Out video, the decline of Aaron's character. There is a whole timeline by release order where Aaron's character traits vastly differ and how he changes that way. So for him, it makes sense. Caitlyn also, I suppose, was a lot more...
Well, Caitlyn was a lot angrier in season 1. Like in college, she wasn't that late about.
Thank you for finishing my thought for me.
Yes.
And no, but ultimately, it wasn't again not unrecognizable to the same degree that someone like Aaron would have been if you hadn't gone in release order. You know, this is almost tempting to to do yet another series in chronological order instead, but no, I've exhausted a lot of all the MyStreet content by this stage. It's been milked dry. Speaking of milk, I forgot I still got this.
Ooh, nice.
Do you know that might have a night shift? You know what? Fine enough.
For anyone that might have a night shift of any kind at any place, you just move to the outside of the city where you know most people. Hold on a second.
Bit of a secret. We live with you now, so we'll...
That's why that line wasn't in the original, by the way.
Find out eventually.
But Caitlyn-sama, Kawaii Chan wants to know now!
Patience, Kawaii Chan. Let's play Aphmau's game. If she's so set on keeping her job a secret, then it'll be fun to find out.
Yeah, wouldn't it be just?
Yeah, only if we did, though.
Originally, this is where the first-person perspective
What exactly does she mean by that? You know, Caitlyn-sama, she just likes to get in a snarky remark. She does that a lot to her customers at IHOP, which is why she always gets bad tips as a waitress.
This is going to be a very minor nitpick here, but in the original, she doesn't actually say IHOP, she says the restaurant. But yet, because of the big move, we know the restaurant is IHOP. So, I guess this was just to remind people that it was IHOP and it was just a random restaurant they both worked at.
Well, to be fair, I guess if she's not going to remake the big move, might as well, you know...
Keep it consistent.
Reference it a lot more bluntly without implying that people have seen it before, you know.
Potentially. Although that would be fun, actually, a remake of the big move to, you know, if it going by release order.
Psh, I'll tip her to mind her own business. Happy thoughts!
I tell you what, considering there's not an improv response from Aphmau, that's a way better line.
We all live together now, you know. Speaking of which, I made you these.
Extra fancy chocolate.
this is another thing. But yeah, actually, wait a minute. She made the chocolate, but had a box with like a branded thing that says extra fancy chocolate. I don't think.
Maybe she has like
skills, but embroidery is not one that's been listed.
Well, okay.
Wasn't
she wasn't she like a seamstress or whatever in Diaries universe or Diaries?
She was. She actually owned a maid cafe.
So I mean, she may have known embroidery. I mean, she had like all the baby maid dolls. Therefore, maybe she sewed clothes.
But most of those we saw how she created those. They just like spawn immediately already formed with like the clothing on. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the only like seamstress we had was Cadenza, really.
Huh?
She asked Cadenza.
What's this?
She asked Cadenza, can you make Kawaii Chan a box of chocolates?
I was implying with embroidery, but you know. Sure.
Kawaii-chan borrowed the kitchen of whoever owns the chocolate shop. Like, that's her friend or something. She works part-time at the chocolate shop.
Oh, that'd be awesome, working at part-time at a chocolate shop.
And it would fit the character.
I would love to eat all that chocolate going.
Yeah, so would Kawaii Chan, which is probably why I would not be so sure. But, I mean, you know, ultimately, as long as you don't hire Michi, you should be fine. She was already busy being fired from a cake restaurant that was down the streets.
Well, Kawaii Chan made it for Afmao Senpai as a thank you for asking Kawaii Chan to be Afmao Senpai's roommate! Aw, thanks, Kawaii Chan. This is really nice of you. And then,
The sound effect came in late.
case, we should start unpacking and picking our rooms! Caitlin-sama and Kawaii Chan both agreed before we came here that since Afmao Senpai is paying more on rent, Afmao Senpai should get first pick of the room! Maybe Afmao Senpai
And that's, of course, why Caitlin went inside in both versions, picked a room herself before anyone else
I
did.
should take the biggest room! What? No, Kawaii-chan. I'm really fine with whatever. Oh, stop being so modest! Afmao Senpai was the one that found the house and did all the work to get it! She deserves to...
This is true. People haven't seen the big move. She just asked the two of them, like, hey, I'm moving house. You want to move in with me? It's like, yeah, why not? Let's do it.
have the biggest room!
Hey, that's what I asked my friends, and now we're moving in together next year.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my goodness. You get to live your own version of MyStreet.
Yeah, I'm renting from my father. But it's a
You get to
3-bedroom
live
bathroom
a
house.
various version of MyStreet.
You get to live your own MyStreet, kind of, sort of.
you gotta document the experience. You gotta make your own series out of that.
Yeah, all of us in school. It's gonna be awful. It's everybody's working part-time or in school. There is no free time. But you know,
Okay.
we'll do it together. And when anybody's like, I need help with homework, somebody else is probably good at it.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully.
I feel like that probably wouldn't make it into the. I feel like that would make it into the story. You have to like fade to black if you do that. But yeah,
Chan, she and Caitlin-sama don't mind at all! Now go on and pick! Kawaii-chan is gonna be here to get her stuff down from the truck!
Now go on and pick, but again, pick the biggest room because.
Or don't pick, because Caitlin already picked for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need me to help you get your stuff down, or do you think you should be fine?
So this is what Aiden was saying before about how they didn't go into the moving truck originally. I vaguely recall Afmao talking to Lawrence in one of them originally, but not this one.
Kawaii-chan?
She's looking for a shipping shrine.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember that these boxes in the original version were just like, you know, that by Minecraft physics, we're able to like fit 2 entire dressers in them with a bunch of other stuff. So she's going to be here for a while.
Okay, then. Just ignore me. There's no way you can't hear me with those ears. Uh-huh. Nothing. I'm just going to grab my laptop really quick from the moving van.
When she said moving van, it kind of seemed like she was going to jump on a moving van itself, but anyway.
Here it is.
Okay, I guess. Was that tumbling sound the chocolates?
Awesome.
She's
All
still
right,
That's
not
not
good.
good.
Oh god, don't back away of your computer, your hands! This is not smart!
This is how you fall off a truck and
My
break
hands
it.
are full. No, forget the laptop. This is how you break your spine.
Jen, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Seems like I'm getting in the way.
On the contrary. And this is something that, again, I have, people talk about how the lack of Aaron is also a drawback as far as, like, based on, like, how the series would progress moving forward. So that was probably remedied, and that's also, I think, why the whole laptop thing, well, not that, but the guys that going on the moving van didn't happen in the first place. As far as the chocolates goes, that's tangentially related because of a remark that she makes after this, but it still would have worked without it. And of course, I'd be remiss not to mention the updated Aaron model as well, with far more defined abs than original, because of course that would get emphasis. Of course
As it
that was.
should! But also he has a zipper now. And that looks cool too.
Uh-huh. So now we just know that he's deliberately not doing it.
So cool!
Oh no.
She had her phone already on the camera mode.
You're...
Which, by the way, really bad for story. Don't take the same photo that many times. That's not going to help you.
No, actually. My sister likes to take my phone and just film my camera roll.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good. It doesn't do anyone any good apart from, I guess, to prank someone. Just prank us. It's not even getting different angles. You got to like do the different.
Also,
anyway,
Aaron.
This is what I mean. It's fun, like because of like out of Kawaii Chan's unhingedness, you get like the yandere by proxy aspect. You get more
also Aaron's voice acting in this scene is so much better than season 1. Because honestly, looking back at season 1, Jason
originals like he was there.
Jason is as flat as a board whenever he's voice acting.
Okay, but I feel like they addressed that at some point in time because I definitely remember something about like season 3 or 4. He starts to like sound like a person.
He sounded a lot better in season 2. The problem was, and randomly in season 2, his voice acting sounded so much better, like he actually was alive before he. I don't know how to describe it. It's like
I do. I know how to describe it. So if anyone here has seen the Music Freaks, yeah, there's that. The whole cast, feels like they're on the they're on like the same like caliber of voice acting. They're all voice actors. That's what they do. They've been directed appropriately, and then suddenly you get like you get you get like Haley and Xander's mother, who is voiced by Rosie Closey, and it's like, oh my goodness, what just happened here? Or even better, My Passion, actually, where you get like the Fox sisters' like actual mother voicing the mother character. And it's like, well, I mean, in both cases, you can kind of see it's somebody who's not used to voice acting stepping into the role, and that was the same case with Jason. It's like, okay, who am I gonna get to play the Hunt character? I know, my husband. Logically. The casting makes sense. However,
I'm pretty sure Jason was always meant to play Aaron, though. Like, he played Aaron in Diary Season 1.
That's what I just said. But the thing about Jason, especially back in the day, around the Diaries era, early MyStreet, or even before that, actually, there were a lot of videos that he was involved in. But even the Transcepted Ink days, he was the one that would probably be most of the time behind the scenes. That's where he was most comfortable. It's like Nick Lang in that sense. Except for because Nick Lang was like, why on earth are you behind the scenes? For Jason, it's like, okay, all right, I can see that level of comfort here, and he step in every now and then to say a couple of lines, but that was really like the extent of his own comfort zone. So I think eventually when they realized like they both wanted to have Aaron be more of a part, and continue that story forward and actually develop their relationship, rather than just the will they won't they aspect of well, I guess I could say of Diaries, but that was very short lived too. Of this, then yeah, he was he stepped up, and he actually was he gained in confidence and in skills, and it's it definitely showed. But that's why he didn't have that originally. So yeah, of course, even just without trying, he's gonna sound better than he did before.
I always found weird in season 1 scenes, though, how he wasn't always voice acted. Because, like, dang, I understand not having like characters like Zane or like Zane, Gareth, Caitlyn, Kawaii Chan. Those characters make sense, but you actually have to pay the voice actors. But I mean, like, are you paying your husband to voice act?
Well, I
be like, here's money.
I know, but like he doesn't.
But it was always a weird production thing. It's like, dang.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry I wasn't watching where I was going.
It's no problem. Here, you'll probably need this.
Did laptop open while?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how the laptop ended up open. I've always wondered about that.
Wait, he's trying to look at her browser history.
Isn't that later?
We addressed that.
No, well, he didn't do that.
Yeah, hold on a second. There's a line that addresses that.
Oh my, Irene! I almost dropped it! Thank you.
That was a long pause there for that kind of line delivery.
I wouldn't be able to afford another one if I broke it.
I know how much it means to you. Plus, I kind of know what you have on it.
Yeah, he doesn't need to look. He already knows. See? Not necessary.
But it's good stuff.
Yeah, it does raise the question, why did Afmal tell him? Or how did he find out?
Well, I mean, they're probably at the house together, and maybe he saw a bit of her browser
I was like,
history.
she probably had it open.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, hey, I've got a notification from, oh god.
No, I didn't know you were on those sites. Whoa.
Most of I imagine it was, but the joke they made about like browser history stuff in the original series was that it was always like what fanfics that she had, you know.
Yeah.
Because Lawrence and Garth wanted to find out, oh yes, like, oh, do you want to see if it has like Garmal or Lamal fix on there or something? It's like, I mean, the implication here, of course, being that she does happen to have some kind of prefix Mao fix on there, and Aaron knows which ones they are.
You?
Do you ladies need any help or anything?
Trust me, we've got this cool guy. Besides, I could outlift you any day.
Is that a challenge?
Oh,
how did we get here?
Yeah. It does feel alien to where they were dynamic-wise outside of this, but actually, you know what? For once, I'm kind of with Kawaii Chan as far as what she saw in them at the time. Yeah.
Okay, but to be fair, this is probably how they probably talk to each other quite often in season 1 in private. You know, all the stuff that we kept hearing about, which from an audience perspective was annoying. Oh, they hang out so
most of that like implication came afterwards.
They're so close. Like, okay, cool. I'm glad I'm hearing about how close they are. Only if
most of the implications of like them hanging out together, those came about like mid to late season. There were a couple of times like there was clearly a thing that was happening between them in the big move, but aside from that, it was mostly after this, which is why again Kawaii Chan's thing seems so out of left field most of the time.
She just saw them and wanted to smush their face together regardless. Be like, oh,
which is essentially finished up high, you know, because you saw her first interaction with them was, you know, okay, Bolter got thrown out a window. These two are arguing with each other. How adorable. Like, what? If this had been the starting point, I'd be like, okay, I kind of get it.
All right then, but some other day. For now, I'll leave you guys be.
Also, of course, the implication before ultimate strength is a thing.
Hey!
Yeah, lifting.
Thanks again for helping me pack my old apartment and helping me find this place.
So the big moves this still
It's
happen.
No problem.
Yeah, but if that's not
maybe you want to hang out later?
At least bluntly referencing it is the best way to go about it. For, you know, we're not actually getting a proper remake of it. Just bluntly
like, again,
referencing.
think about this from like, you know, Jess's perspective, of course, that you were you know, if you're gonna remake something that's like this iconic and you want to like a one-off thing, remake the first episode of MyStreet. You know, don't bother with the big move before that.
Yeah, especially these big moves like 5 episodes, or was it 3? Crap, how long was the big
5.
move? Yeah, it was like 5 episodes, and that's
5.
It was 5. It was 5. Trust me, it was 5.
And remaking 5 episodes is
they
quite
blend
a lot.
Together. It was like over the course of one single
3.
day, so they all blend together.
Shirtless Aaron buying a cake, and the first episode where Aaron comes over to her apartment and we see her apartment.
Yeah. And
I remember 3 scenes, actually.
Well, yeah, there's also like the couple of things like the Garth and Lawrence thing as well. There's like what happened with Garth and Lawrence, and then also them trying to find it. So these are from like
Didn't they try to make Afmo jealous by paying Michi to pretend to be fighting over them or something?
Yes,
but
that was during Afmo and Aaron's movie
Shirtless
date.
Aaron.
Yes.
That's Shirtless Aaron.
Okay, Shirtless Aaron was every
No. Like Shirtless Aaron episode.
No jacket, I guess, you know.
Weirdly enough, I don't remember the no jacket, although I do know that one of the episodes was called Abs, so that makes sense.
Yeah, the last episode was called Abs, because the ending scene is everybody passing out because he's hot.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember that now.
Shirtless Aaron episode.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if that was the Abs episode, because I because I thought that was episode 2. You know, it doesn't matter. We've covered the big move already on here. I'm sure whatever we said back in the day makes more sense. Anyway.
Maybe you want to hang out later? I got like a box of chocolates we could share.
So there is that. The implication again. There's like, well, first of all, no, you don't have box chocolates anymore. You dropped it on the floor in the moving van. I heard the crash.
I think she put it in a box. That's my implication. She put the
then
chocolate
what was
box.
the crash?
I think that was her picking up the computer.
Well, she was like, yes, okay, steady. All right, box chocolates. There you go.
Listen,
I mean, it could have been that it could be like underneath a bunch of stuff, and they might have like toppled on each other. Okay, sure, fine, but still, that box is somewhere. Although it would make Kawaii Chan very happy to know that her box of chocolates is getting like used for such a purpose.
For a shipping purpose for the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to spend time with you.
And people in the comments did comment on, you know, the whole like chocolate hesitation thing, which, yes, of course, that was something that had to be addressed. That's probably why the box chocolate thing was like included, because otherwise it's kind of just a superfluous detail. Which makes me wonder if that was actually, as Aphmau said, like one of the intended dynamics in here. Because I picture that the original intention for episode 1 was the whole, like, you know, falling off the moon van and being caught by Aaron without the chocolates thing. Because first of all, the pair of them both tried red velvet cake in the shop together in the big move anyway, so that was clearly not even like a possibility. And secondly, serves for the hesitation.
Well, to be fair, when they try, apparently, I think it was like said in like whatever. I think in season 5 it was said like by Aphmau's mom.
Yes, Aaron, you know, they've talked about like how Aaron ate chocolate in the past, but he usually vomited it out afterwards, or we had like chocolate substitutes by yeah, so they did cover that plot hole at least. The very rare occasion that Aphmau fixes a plot hole before it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably referencing the lore just because realistically the lore wouldn't come up too much in season 1, so it's probably a subtle reference to the lore. Therefore, you know,
it could have been a fortuitous thing. Maybe I'm wrong. The box chocolates were like always a part of this, and just so happened to align perfectly. But it does feel like, okay, that's inserted for the sake of, you know, the storytelling as implied by the comment.
His feet are really loud.
Yeah, speaking of really loud things,
My camera's really loud.
she's just taking photos of Aphmau herself now. What's the point?
To send to the artist. Who send to the artists.
Do you want like a reaction or something from her, like her blushing or whatever, or smiling at him as he walked away?
Probably.
Yeah, because the smile could have been like anything. Actually, she could just lie and tell them that it was a smile to do with Aaron or whatever.
Were you taking pics of us again?
You can't hear that?
No. Uh-huh. I swear, if I see them around the house.
Oh, I like the foreshadowing line. If I see them around the house, foreshadowing.
I will say
we love some good old foreshadowing.
I will say there is actually a line of foreshadowing in the original episode. Just when they talk about shipping later, actually. Kawaii Chan's like, speaking of shipping, Kawaii Chan needs to go and nothing, don't follow, especially you, Aphmau Senpai, and then leaves. So that was the foreshadowing originally. However, instead of that, we get this.
Let's see.
A yandere character, you say?
Wow. This house has a ton of space. Like, literally a ton of space. More than I'm actually used to.
What you said originally.
This is so nice.
You have a pool.
It's even got a pool.
Are they paying someone to like clean the pool? Because like I don't know if they clean because cleaning a pool is really hard, apparently.
Well, considering that whenever we see the pool, it is in fact clean. The implication is that someone out there is cleaning it.
Yeah.
I would have thought. Yeah, I was more fixated at the time of, you know, about whether or not that cookie jar was ever gonna get emptied. The one which was like a bunch of stale cookies on the side of the counter in the kitchen that never got used, even when Kawaii Chan made a new fresh batch.
Kitchen!
This part I love is just the fact that, like, during the rest of the time she was, like, exploring the house and narrating to herself, and it's been, like, relegated to just one singular word. Because that's all you need.
Oh, Caitlin.
Okay, we had best version here as well. I think we also saw a bit of Caitlin's, room.
You decided on a room?
Something.
Nope.
Oh, no.
These crates are yours. This is your room.
Wait, what? Hold on a minute.
Yeah, again, we've talked about the lack of choice. Yes, this is 100%. Like, in the original version, she actually went around and checked some of the other rooms first as well, but then came to this one and saw Caitlin was already in it.
Didn't even pick this room to begin with. How do you even know I want this room in the first place?
Kawaii Chan and I talked about this before we came to the house. We both agreed you did all the work to get this place, plus you're paying more rent. So we feel it's only right you get the big room.
Even the remake, they still say the same thing as
But
don't fight this, please. It'll only make Kawaii Chan and I feel better about moving in with you on our budget.
Fine. You know what? I don't mind if that's the case. But if that changes, we'll talk about moving rooms around then, okay?
Fine. That works for me.
I mean, we've all been unpacked and settled into our rooms anyway, so we won't want to do that, but anyway.
I've already picked my room. What most concerns me is what we're doing for dinner.
Maybe we can, like, order pizza later if we get hungry or something?
Pizza count, there it is. There it is. Bring it back, pizza count.
Do they say pizza a lot? I don't remember this.
Okay.
Is this about
Again.
Reese?
Well, not yet, but it will be.
Okay.
So in the it was like a joke that I kept on saying like the early days of 5 years later, but also it came about because of that same AFMAO stream from when she reacted to the first 4 episodes of MyStreet, where in every single one of those she mentioned pizza at least once. So then I started like keeping track of like, oh, okay, so there's gonna be pizza in this episode, there's gonna be pizza in this episode. But yeah. As it turns out, episode 5 was the first one not to mention pizza, so she went one further than she would have realized that, but never mind.
That sounds like a plan. Besides, I don't really want to cook. Knowing Kawaii-chan, she's just gonna ask me to make strawberry puffs again.
Strawberry puff reference, because, you know, that wasn't... AFMAO didn't conceptualize that being a connection.
Yeah, that one's relatively harmless, yeah.
What's that?
I'll make them for you sometime.
How does
Wait,
she not know
anyway.
that?
She
That
should know that.
surprises me. Yeah,
She
that
should know
surprises
that.
me.
I feel like she would know. Wait, can it be? I can't. I feel like she would know, right?
Yeah.
Like
It
I
really-
don't
it
know.
really
I don't know if
depends, like,
there's an
it depends, like,
explicit
after
scene
the-
with her and Caitlin's dad where he mentions strawberry puffs, but I feel like she would know.
There isn't. There isn't, but by this stage you would have thought, like, you know, like, considering that, like, Sylvana and Erica at least rekindled a friendship of some kind before. They're not dating, but they're still friends, you know, they're still, like, visits that
And
happen.
Caitlin-
You would have thought it would have come up, yeah.
I'm like,
because if
he
that was
was,
just around visiting Caitlin's house at some point, you know? That
but like,
for any
think about
reason.
it. During that sleepover birthday party, I would not have been surprised if he had brought over strawberry puffs and they just weren't mentioned.
I mean...
It wasn't a birthday party. It was just a sleepover.
It was a slumber party, but yeah, but I mean, well,
But, like,
possibly, but
I'm
also,
like,
like,
that's
he
the
was
kind
far
of
more...
thing, like, that definitely didn't happen only once.
Well,
he
we
was
only saw
far
it
more
once,
interested back then with whether or not Caitlin had a boyfriend. That was his primary mission.
Yeah.
He didn't have time to waste on desserts.
but yeah, but
he had to see if his sugar was getting some sugar. You know what I mean?
I do gotta leave a bit early here, but I'm going to say a few things before I leave. So there's a scene later where, there's a scene later where we actually get an introduction to Zane, which was originally in episode 2, but got moved to this episode, which I think it works really good in this
which I've
episode.
been waiting to talk about until
But like AFMAO, when she talks to Zane, and she's like, Kawaii Chan, you remember Zane from high school, and or I don't know, I forget what the exact line is, but like Kawaii Chan's like, oh my god, you're the guy who did all this mean stuff in high school. Which, if you cut back to at Falcon Claw University, Kawaii Chan quite literally during that episode was like, "Oh, who are you? We have never met, right?" It's like, "What? No, I was mean to you in high school." And it's like, I don't remember that. So Kawaii Chan in FC University didn't remember him in high school, but then all of a sudden she somewhat forgot about meeting him in college and actually getting to know him in college. And she remembered him in high school in this remake. It just personally kind of annoys me because like it's either she remembers him in high school or she doesn't remember him in high school. You can't have it be two separate versions of the take. These are very different.
The Travis tale we weave.
Is that it's reversed. If you remembered somebody from high school and college, but you didn't remember them as an adult, that kind of makes sense.
But she didn't remember him in college.
But it's flip-flopped, and therefore it's wrong.
Okay, so I can actually explain this, and I'm not going to mention Gene. That's I can actually properly explain it. So essentially, as it turns out, in the CinemaSins parody that they did, this was addressed how it's like, oh, come on, Kawaii-chan, you should know more than that. You definitely talked to him. It's like, wait, not even once. And I'm pretty sure they actually must have like checked to see that Kawaii-chan and Zane that they had little to no interactions. They did have like a couple of times because there was a whole like Kawaii-chan with a mustache thing.
Yeah, that thing.
So it wasn't. But then again, if that was her only experience with Zane, it makes sense for her not to remember him. By which point, Aphmau could have mentioned Zane. Probably would mention Zane a lot of the time, actually, especially if there was stuff that was going on in junior and senior year that we were not aware of.
Well, allegedly there was when we cut to graduation days.
Yes. So and also not to mention that, them all being friends with Gareth, Zane would have come up in conversation. So Kawaii-chan could very easily be saying, oh yes, Zane, I recognize that name. So they say, you remember Zane, right? Oh yeah, so you're the guy who must have been doing those things. I don't remember the face, but I know the name. I think that's how that would make sense, like logically.
Yeah, but the way it was kind of portrayed in this episode was, oh yeah, I remember you. You did a lot of bad things to me and my friends. From more of a personal standpoint, at least the way it came off, rather than a impersonal, hey, my friends mentioned that you weren't very nice.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that when we actually get to that scene then. We'll put a pin on that and we'll mention that, see how she actually does say it.
Also, he probably did mess with Kawaii-chan in high school anyways, because in FC University, when they reunited, he's like, oh, it's you. Like, he's actually had some former interaction with Kawaii-chan during that 2-year time jump. So presumably
speaking, a mustache at one point.
I think it was more of a later interaction. But
yes, I mean, true. If this were anyone other than Zane, given how petty and vindictive Zane is, that would have been enough to resent her just by association alone.
And there was one other thing. The end scene is amazing. Like, the end scene is the best version of the poster scene ever, because I just love it with the camera angles, with the music, with the faces.
I mean, that's the penultimate scene, but yes, it was actually voted. If people have seen the top 10 MyStreet voted scene,
they actually
that
one was off that version,
very highly ranked. Yeah, and it was one where they said like let's pay respect to the original and then play the original version after the remake one, which I would have done the reverse. But again, something that I was planning to get to when we got to it.
Yeah, also, by the way, did you ever actually put in the comments what you personally think should be like the best moment of season 2?
No, because I've yet to pick.
Okay, because I already put mine just in case they already have chosen it or whatever, like put in my...
Yeah, you would think so. I actually back-checked to see when like the other short was posted. It was like a month prior to the video being uploaded, so I think I've got time still. But, if not, then that's fine. I'll just, I get to season 3 then.
I personally don't have a lot of huge moments in season 2. I love too much.
Well, no, it is my least favorite season overall.
Yeah. The one I did pick was Ivy and Aphmau making sandcastles together. That's the one I picked because I personally really enjoy that moment. The whole friendship with sandcastles was actually a pretty fun episode.
Yeah.
Too bad it was also in a season where, season 2 had this weird habit of trying to redeem villains randomly. We brought back Ivy and redeemed her, but no, like they brought back Jean, but Jean's redemption in season 2 was very poorly handled because we didn't really.
Which is why they addressed that more in season 3, and he gets more of a chance to do so. Yeah. Season 3 also had that because season 3 brought like Ivan, and Ivan really was kind of like teetering about the
Ivan was
on the balance.
Ivan was a full antagonist. I mean,
yeah, there's sometimes where he tries to seem like he's redeeming himself, so it does depend.
Yeah. Anyways, enjoy the rest of this. Bye.
Bye.
Truth be told, and I think about it, Ivan was kind of like the midpoint between the early villains of, well, the early antagonists of MyStreet versus like the later ones like Ian. By release order, I mean, like not by chronology. Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, good luck decorating. Dorg.
She can't tell me what.
Well, she got her catchphrase now. That wasn't there originally.
It's bathroom.
That did get
a walk-in closet.
Which looks very similar, actually, to the one that I had in high school. But there you go.
I can't believe they let me have this room. I had the bestest friends ever!
She was actually a lot more hesitant originally as well. It's like, oh, it's got its own bathroom. I feel so bad about this.
Gonna need to make some space for Celestia when she gets delivered by the dog movers.
Ah, now we get to mention the dog movers. Fantastic. Okay, let's talk about the dog movers for a bit. So, in the stream where they talk, where again the first 4 episodes reaction that Afmal did, she mentions that the reason that the dog movers were even a thing in the first place was because she couldn't get the dog model to be placed down for whatever reason. It worked in the big move, but it didn't here for, XYZ reason. Maybe it was a different server or something, yada yada. So she came up with the dog movers because, that's the only reason. Like, okay, of course there'd be a separate movers for dogs and all that other stuff. So
obviously.
Clearly. Which raises the question, if this is supposed to be the version of the episode where, if she was able to structure certain things or be able to do things organically, as she's got a chance now with the knowledge that she has at the moment, why not include Celestia here? Why keep the dog movers? Because that's not really an essential plot point. It comes up once again, but that could have been rephrased.
Well, maybe because it makes sense.
Does it though?
Dog
what
movers?
Are dog movers? Even Afmal in the reaction was like, what are dog movers? What was this?
Well, I feel like if you have to move a lot of stuff, a dog is a hassle. So if dog movers exist in this universe, yeah, use them.
In the meantime, time to make this place feel more like home.
This is where we find about the 2 dresses in 1 crate. And there was originally a Gravity Falls poster that was in the background there. Now, I remember also Afmal mentioned that, there's as far as references to very popular shows of the time, partly was done because she was a fan of them, but also because other people were fans of them too. And aside from My Hero Academia at the time when she mentioned this, there were no really proper shows that she would think okay, this is something, particularly anime especially, that there would be something that okay, everyone's gonna. Which, first of all, having niche taste in anime would be a good character trait for Afmal regardless, because it still kind of matches. And secondly, I guess it does go to show the way that streaming services have affected what everyone there's one show nowadays that every single person has watched because of the whole accessibility, but also because there's so much content, you're bound to spread yourself too thin. So there aren't so many shows anymore. Like the ones that we had at the start that in this series that would be yes, this is what the kids are into, let's say that much.
Okay.
But again, that shouldn't ultimately matter. But it's also the reason why Afmal was into My Hero Academia in Falcon Claw University when My Academia didn't come out until 7 years after that was set.
Let's set up. That's really what's important to survive for tonight.
Yeah, not Gravity Falls apparently. Oh, speaking of posters.
Well, there is one more thing I need to survive tonight. I'm so sorry to put you in a crate. I just moved into a new house, you see. It's a new experience, but I'm glad it's an experience I get to share with you, my senpai.
Okay, so the anticipation when I saw this first, like, oh wait, is she gonna keep the senpai thing? She's gonna keep it. I see it happening. Yes, and the fact there's like music to it as well now, and in the first person, and she actually sounds like she's probably like flirting with it. Because before I was like, I'm sorry, senpai, I just kind of couldn't do this. I couldn't rip out in front of Aaron, you know. I don't know what to find out I'll be in love. It's like a little bit of there. But there's a difference between that and versus like, I'm so sorry, my senpai, please forgive me. It's a whole different experience. And also on top of that, the original version, because again, one thing that Ahmed didn't notice at the time was that the original version was actually a partial cigarette commercial. So there was like a box in the bottom right corner that was supposed to be like that. So this is a re-edited version of that exact same picture. That being said, I know the moment people could think of for this. However, I can't not give the Levi drink to Levi himself. So here we go. There we are. You can't even see the teacups anymore, actually. Because I think it's a different one, but there was like a... Oh, there was like a... Was there a couple of them? Yeah, it's definitely not the same one. We have like the different teacups that I made the Levi drink based on. Also, she doesn't call him Levi Senpai anymore. That was another thing that happened originally.
Oh, if only you were real.
I wish that this would like pan like from Ahmad's face towards Caitlin so we see her at the door still.
It's just,
but, yeah.
I don't want anyone to find out about us.
Are you seriously flirting with that poster?
Yeah, so in the big move, she tore it down because Aaron was about to find out, and the second she put it back up again, Caitlin found out. Ahmad was not subtle when it comes to her senpai.
Caitlin,
Why
not
not
before you
put
come
it in
in!
your closet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You know, do exactly what Caitlin did. Put it in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Which now makes me think, if this were remade, I reckon, actually, instead of a One Direction poster, it would be a BTS poster.
Yes!
I'm just picturing
Actually,
that.
Screw BTS. Blackpink for the win.
I mean, sure. I guess now that we know that Caitlyn is into both guys and girls, the joke would still land either way. Or it could just be because of her music taste. It really depends. The ultimate thing would be undercut by that is, I suppose there was one moment where Gareth and Lawrence vandalized the poster and they put a picture of Zane on top of Zane from One Direction. It's like right after he left as well. So it's like, oh, he left, so it doesn't matter. So I guess that would be, you'd sacrifice that essentially, but you know, ultimately, not the small price to pay.
Yeah.
My Irene, you are such a dork.
I was
Yep,
practicing lines for a play I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Anime faces.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were in a play. A play about crazy people with drawings for boyfriends.
I like that she doesn't say poster senpais anymore like she did originally, but oh, another addition here.
Good luck ever getting a lead role.
That one I have mixed feelings on because it was Caitlyn's own play where she cast her as the lead role.
Yeah.
But and also it doesn't follow if you have to be in a play that you have to be a lead role. Like that's, especially knowing Afmal, she didn't want to be the lead in that play, and Caitlyn knows that from taking theatre with her. So that's why I have mixed feelings. Like, okay, good callback based on like the fact that she mentioned a play and you eventually would do a play as one of the most famous arcs in the entire show. On the other hand, organically, I'm on the fence about it still.
Caitlin, get back here! I swear, Caitlin, you...
Let me briskly walk to encounter you. Kawaii Chan, move. I'm briskly walking after Caitlyn. By the way, the reason that Kawaii was just standing there, like, still entirely was because Jason had to move from moving the Caitlyn model, or the Caitlyn avatar, to the Kawaii Chan account, because he had, like, multiple ones he was going back and forth to. And that's why he couldn't move both of them at the same time. Which, again, you would think in the version that she's saying, oh yeah, this will be all like the remade stuff, or thing, this will be like the version I couldn't do. You wouldn't need to have her just standing there with a bowl of fruit in her hands. But no, you kept that. Why?
There's
Again.
3 people in this scene. Find a third person.
Mm-hmm.
Kawaii Chan? Afmal Senpai, let's go introduce ourselves to the neighbors! Come on!
I'd rather like run in and like bump into Afmal. Kennen gets away. And again, Kawaii-chan stops moving and Kennen moves again. What?
You know what? Sure.
Also, Kennen, close the door behind you. Jeez, don't let the air out.
I'm all about that. But are we giving our neighbors anything, or...? Well, Kawaii-chan has a fruit bowl. She only has one, so we can only meet one neighbor. Well,
This line was this line was interesting in both versions because he just says as a fruit bowl, even though she's holding the fruit bowl in her hands.
it's better than nothing. Let's go.
I've now just realized something. Couldn't you like take off like bits of the fruit, like maybe like make two or something?
Yeah. But it might look a little awkward.
Yeah. Also, in the original version, they actually like Afmal walks down the street with Kawaii-chan in one go. And while she's doing that, she actually mentions how apparently there's like no one else around. Like there's only one neighbor that seems to be like on the street, which makes a lot of sense based on the series. But I mean, come on. Oh wait, before we get to that, we have this scene.
Hello?
Greetings from the head of the neighborhood committee. My name is Zane Remake. As the leader of this neighborhood...
Wait, Zane?
Okay. Again, I'm of two minds about this because I understand why this was put in. Zane is iconic. He deserves to be in the first episode. He wasn't originally. I get that. But again, as Ada mentioned before, continuity-wise, what do we take away from this? Because if someone were, for some reason, to watch, like... This again why I think, like, the original version still, like, matches up more, is because if someone was to watch the remake version, and then go back and watch the... and watch the second episode, the opening scene is this scene right now. So they get a version of the thing they've already seen, as if it didn't just happen. And also Kawaii-chan doesn't see who it was, because originally she thinks the person at the door was like more... The artistry commission to make more art for the shrine, and then Afmal has a whole like breakdown about that. So yeah, that's why. However, it's almost worth it just to hear Zane with his like deadpan delivery of the lines like "Greetings from the neighborhood watch." You know, like again, the thing that he's definitely been told to say by somebody, not sure by who. It was that.
But it's great.
It was like the neighborhood guy, like the stand-in from the competition from Side Stories, where Zane for some reason becomes a creep and wants to see like bikinis and stuff in that one episode, and it's like, why? Yeah, there's a competition like to see like who could be on like not the mayor of MyStreet, but like the head of the neighborhood, and there's like a whole like there's like a whole like empty lot or something. It's like, oh yeah, we can like find us like a construction of something here, and Zane's like, I want a pool actually. You know.
In Remake? You're Garth's little brother, aren't you?
See, this is the thing.
Okay,
again,
but
Afmal mentions like his name and has to remember his name specifically. So what hope did Kawaii-chan have at this point is what I would say to Aiden if he were here right now. But
my issue is that she calls him Garth's little brother.
Yeah.
When they were definitely close enough as like families that it should not be Garth's little brother.
That depends if Afmal ever wanted to like show her face the Remake household ever again after the whole thing with Garth, but I'm not sure how many other visits they must have done. Clearly Sylvain doesn't like visit Eric and vice versa, so maybe just like those get-togethers are just very infrequent. Or Afmal made convenient excuse not to be around Sylvain and Zion at the same time, which I understand completely.
Yeah, but I thought Afmal was also friends with Vlad. And I feel like Afmal was friends with Vlad in high school
the whole
for longer than she was friends with Garth, because Garth graduated.
Yeah. Honestly, you could have said like Garth and Vlad's brother, that would have made sense. Although they didn't really hang out too much in Season 2, even though the Not Alone buddies were, the Not Alone buddies were ironically alone a lot of the time.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what happened to Travis half the time. I remember like one scene with Travis in the second season.
Yeah, he fully committed to his apprenticeship on the Dante. That was his main focus at the time.
I feel like that's all. I'm like, I remember one scene with him, and I'm like, yeah, he kind of just he disappeared. Vlad disappeared.
I recall there was one scene where he did like a bunch of pickup lines to help cheer up Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was... And beyond that, he was mostly seen, like, around Dante, or he tried to, like, practice hitting on Aphmau, to see if, like, Dante's tips and tricks would work.
Which was funny.
I think wait, no, that was the How to Be a Heartbreaker episode. That was the one where Aphmau disguised herself as a boy trying to get a girl's number, and then, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that was the Dante like, focused episode. But yeah, beyond that, not really much.
Oh, I remember you.
Hello!
See, he holds grudges, yeah.
I don't know if I want to remember you.
So yeah, as far as like Famicom University goes, again, that was 2007, 2008, this would be 2015, so again, a good 7 to 8 years, so there's a good chance that... Well, I was gonna say a good chance that he would have forget Kawaii Chan versus Aphmau. Yeah, he's got more history with Aphmau to remember her. However, Kawaii Chan stands out from a crowd a lot more than anyone else in this entire series.
Yeah.
Well, we remember you. You're that jerk that did all those horrible things to everyone in senior year of high school.
So it was Aphmau's line, not Kawaii Chan's, who said that.
That's right!
Does it?
Okay, that's right. See, again, she clocks to that as like, oh wait, that's right, as if she remembers after that point, yeah. I think it still works, honestly. Like, I don't
but
think
the fact that she didn't know that he exists, like, because clearly everyone includes Kawaii Chan. Otherwise, everyone is really confusing, because Kawaii Chan was very present in high school as well, in that friend group.
Yeah, again...
Therefore, her not remembering him by face in college does not make sense. Because it's not like he wasn't doing these things in person. Like, it's not like they weren't aware of who was doing it.
So in that case, the issue is actually more to do with Falcon University than it is to do with the remake episode itself. So here it's not a problem, but in Falcon Claw, by, you know, I guess it makes Falcon Claw a problem a little bit in that case.
Look like I care right now.
So you're the head of the neighborhood committee? Why?
Power. That's why. And just because you're here doesn't mean I'm going to make your lives any easier. Now here, take this.
His job?
It's a welcome packet.
I mean, in theory.
Thanks?
Oh, I didn't make it. I'm just handing it to you.
And we're not even going to show it on screen this time.
I personally don't care if you feel welcomed or not. I just want you to acknowledge I have power over you and you have to deal with it.
Haven't changed much, have you?
I never intend to.
And again, that's another line that was added, is like, oh yeah, he goes for a character arc, how funny, but it's like, yeah, of course he does, we got that anyway.
Enjoy living here.
Yeah. Did they have to, like, I guess they would have to, like, find like a texture pack that would have both the flattened flower version and then the actual like big ones, just to make that work.
Kawaii!
Which, by the way, originally in the episode, Aphmau walks over some of Brendan's flowers later.
Chan doesn't like him.
I forgot about him.
I can't think of anyone who would. Let's just forget him for now.
Hold on a second.
Michi liked him.
Did she? I don't know.
Kawaii Chan doesn't like him.
Okay, she's saying that again. She's saying that in the moment.
I can't think of anyone who would. Let's just forget him for now. Come on. Let's go meet someone new. Yeah!
Yes, this is when Aphmau said there was like no one else around.
Wow, nice house. We really hit it with this neighborhood. Yeah!
I guess how'd you say wow, nice house after she rings the doorbell? You think she'd say wow, nice house as she approaches the house?
Yeah. It's like, no, the door is pretty.
Well,
yeah.
Well. I didn't know cute girls were delivering pizza these days.
I like how tall he is as well. I guess we are seeing from Aphmau's perspective, but, you know, still, the height difference in the models is more palpable now.
Brendan? What are you doing here?
I live here. And by the looks of it, you do too.
By the way, Brendan could afford this entire place to himself when almost no one else could. Most of them are to, like, room with each other. So, actually, yeah, because in the way that, like, Brendan leaves the series to get, like, paid off and is swimming in a pool of money saying, I'm rich, he was, you know, already kind of wealthy to begin with, potentially.
Okay, but think about it. it's pretty canon for Korra as well, because he goes off and makes a lot of money. Not like
okay,
not like
sorry. So we're saying to see why he was saying Korra. If anyone doesn't know, Brendan's character model is based off of Bolin from Legend of Korra, and that was like a reference that Aphmau called him Bolin a bunch of times in diaries for that reason.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's kind of accurate. He was not like crazy rich, like Asami rich, but like he was making money.
I mean, for sure, he was one of the first mover stars. Yeah, absolutely.
Worked for Varric.
So yeah,
and Varric liked him, therefore Varric gave him lots of money.
Well, yeah, okay, he was employed by him, so you know it was. It's not like Varric was like, I like you, have some money. It's like, no, I like you. Here's the thing you're doing for me, therefore have some money. It was like a bit of a.
I like you. You're gonna be my movie star.
Exactly.
That's
yes,
basically
it was more
how
like
it went.
that. It's more like that versus like, I like you. Here's a wad of cash. It's not. That's different.
Well, he kind of did that with the beaver. Do you remember the beaver? He was him and Julie were in a beaver, and the beaver was pooping cash.
Right, yeah. That was bad. Yeah, well, no,
like
that was
there was
like
a purpose for the cash, but
yes, that was meant to use as a bribery. Yeah, that was again, it's not exactly the implication there. Also, as far as this goes, Brendan's actually more perceptive in this version than he was originally. Because actually, because originally what he said was that he'd been inviting people to like come along to see his place and test it out. And he thought that Aphmau finally took him off on his offer, but then she said like, no, actually we just moved over. So I guess now they've done away with the idea that they've rejected Brendan's invitation. Which, okay, sure, I suppose.
Yeah, we just moved in next door.
Nothing they did is that Aphmau and Kawaii Chan were originally standing together at this point.
Where is Kawaii Chan?
Actually, Kawaii Chan and myself. Brendan
okay.
Kun!
I was like, where did Kawaii Chan go?
Yeah, she actually was like over to the side originally before, so it's not like it's not like she like went and hid. So I do like that blocking, especially because of now. You know,
Kawaii.
I just realized like Kawaii Chan's bow, it has like it's partly like actually like drawn up like custom art and partly the actual
Minecraft
like pixels and texture
hair.
to it. Yeah, why is it both? She already has enough bows on her body anyway. She has one at the front, one at the back, and one on her tail.
Chan, I didn't think you would be.
He fainted.
Yeah.
I guess he still has a crush on you, Kawaii Chan. Well, Kawaii Chan did consider dating him once.
Okay, again. What? Because the virtual version, one of the few lines that Aphmau didn't read out loud in the episode was Kawaii Chan going, huh, as if she like had never clocked on. You know, the classic thing of like, ah, yes, everyone knows that person has a crush on person except for that person, you know? It's that classic trope. Yeah, which that makes a lot more sense because now, of course, with the law that Kawaii Chan had like a bunch of boyfriends, particularly in high school, Kawaii Chan considering dating him. Okay, sure, but she doesn't. But what?
But
why?
I don't see why he wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, like if she considered dating him, yeah, like exactly. You're going for that aspect.
I feel like he's a valid choice.
It's not like he's subtle about it. If he's still fainting, and Kawaii Chan's not phased by the fact that he's fainting around her, she must not be confused by the cause and therefore know the cause. So you'd have thought like, oh hey, she considered dating him. It was like, well. Why not high school Kawaii Chan? That would have made sense for the character.
Yeah, wait, what, huh? How many guys have you dated, Kawaii Chan?
I don't know, what's your night job? That's exchange information here. Give one answer for another.
Kawaii Chan negotiate here.
Okay, this is the van that we got to see inside.
What someone's moving in right across from us on the same day that we are?
Why does their moving van look so much different than like the moving van looks like a garbage truck?
I guess they hired a different company.
Now we don't have to feel alone. Come on, let's go say hi.
You don't have to feel. Oh, I guess like as being like new people. Okay, fine.
Yay!
Although Brendan's implied to have just moved here recently. Well, as you know, originally, because of...
Well, I gotta admit, this place isn't half bad. Definitely an upgrade from my old place.
What did I tell you? See, we knew you'd like it.
And now's when we cut back originally to cinematic after all that stuff was in first person.
I'm going to like stealing your girl even more.
What did you say?
I said I'm going to like firing up the grill even more. This place is perfect for barbecue parties.
Did he just say that he wanted to steal our Aphmau? I don't know.
Wow, it's almost like in the big move, that was the reason he agreed to move in with you, so he could mess with the pair of you and try to like prove a point by stealing Aphmau from you. But now they're reacting like this is the first time they've like heard of this concept. Dante was very, very adamant about this, and he actually, like, he said like, "See you around, neighbor," like before he like jumped out the window. They knew what they were getting themselves into. That was a part of the big move as well. It's another scene that we didn't mention before. So everyone so far has acted like the big move happened, except for these two. That I question.
Okay, but I feel like they're eternally portrayed as dumbasses.
Okay, but not to this degree. At least not yet, anyway.
Are you sure?
I mean, Gareth, okay, he had like a whole bit of thing after this happened. But by this stage in the story, not really.
Hey there, new neighbors. My name's Aphmau, and this is...
Aphmau!
And that's the so-called more mature joke that Aphmau was referring to, because honestly, nothing else in this episode so far has been like more mature than it was originally. Except perhaps Aphmau's tone when talking to Poster Senpai. Maybe that's, you know.
Oh!
Gareth, Dante, Lawrence, seriously?
Also,
but I feel like Dante's not a problem.
Well, it depends how flirtatious he's been around Aphmau as of recently, because again, high school,
I like Dante.
That's not the point. She likes all of them.
Dante's not as bad.
Again, as far as Aphmau's concerned, I mean, it's not like Dante has ever said to her face, like, you know, I'm just flirting with you because I find it fun. I'm not interested in you whatsoever. It's like, that's not the point, because then it wouldn't have worked. You know, his plan would have failed immediately. So definitely not. Also, this is in the original episode, Aphmau was actually sick, so like this particular line's like Gareth, Dante, Lawrence, like that kind of thing. But she knows because committed YouTuber, she recorded every single day, so that was that was the reasoning for that. So another vocal performance that we haven't talked about improving, Aphmau for sure. As far as like the three guys, because they were already cast in diaries, they were already like more practiced with the characters than say, you know, either Moika or Lizzie or any of the, you know, I'll say any of the new people. Those are the only new people. So they actually they feel a lot more familiar to themselves. It's hard to like tell like an obvious difference considering that they are, you know, trained to go back to do what they did originally. But as far as like particularly, you know, where Aiden highlighted Aaron, I'm gonna highlight Aphmau for this because, well, shouldn't get a fair chance, quite frankly.
I want more Prince Gareth.
Oh, as in what, the royal tail, Gareth?
No, just the like Andy's nice voice.
Oh,
but
you mean like the smooth Gareth interpretation?
Yeah. I don't know why. I always called him Prince Gareth.
I mean, yeah, but like, because I know that in Royal Tale he was an actual prince, and they did mention they called him Prince Charming a bunch of times, so I get that. And also, anyway, if anyone doesn't know about this, the original reason that Aphmau cast both Andy and Sebastian for Gareth and Lawrence was because they were the ones that made her swoon the most. That is the actual reason they got the roles.
Oh my god! I don't
So
remember Lawrence's voice actor very well.
Well, I mean, okay.
For obvious reasons.
Ladies only say my name when they want me.
There you go. That's him.
She just said all of our names.
Yeah.
No, don't tell me you guys are... Please just tell me you're helping this person move into their house here.
Nope. Looks like
Everyone appears like behind other things now.
They're moving in.
Hey, Kawaii Chan! Let me ask you, who do you ship me with?
Huh?
Okay, this is another improvement here. Because actually, wait, no, I'm gonna play the not Aphma's line, Kawaii Chan's line first.
Why would you ask such a question?
Just trying to prove a point.
Well, Kawaii-chan thinks Dante-kun is cute, but she doesn't think you're worth shipping with someone like Aphmau-senpai.
That's what I Wait, what?
Okay. So, in the original version, Kawaii-chan says the exact same line back, talking about shipping, and that's again, like, goes into the foreshadowing of the other thing. However, Dante's Q line is different. All that Dante asked is, you know, what Kawaii-chan, like, thought of him, like, as far as, like, on an attractiveness meter, basically. You know, do you think that I'm, like, cute or that I'm attractive or something? That's why, in that version, Kawaii-chan saying that, you know, Dante was cute, but to think about, you know, that, you know, she would ship him with someone like Aphmau, for example, that feels much more of left field, because the fact this wasn't set up properly. So that's why that line was changed this time.
Like she should have just said somebody else's name. Anybody else's. Because the direct
Nicole's,
question
perhaps.
was, who does she ship him with? And she's known him since high school, when he was dating 2 girls at once.
Yeah, including, yeah, including Nicole. And including Kawaii-chan herself. It was Kawaii-chan and Nicole specifically.
I'm like, I feel like she should have an opinion on this. That's not Aphmau. It should be like, I wouldn't ship you with anybody, you fucking cheater. Or, oops. Or, like...
You say that, actually, but, in Love, Love, Paradise, I think it was actually Garth who mentioned this, that Dante hasn't had a date since Kawaii-chan in high school. And if it was, think about it, the whole, like, 2 girls at once thing happened before Kawaii-chan was even in high school. So that definitely means that they got back together at least once for, like, one single date at some point. So Kawaii-chan definitely was willing to attempt to forgive him at some stage based on that information. The continuity of MyStreet.
Wrong. Maybe not wrong, but usually wrong.
Yeah, usually not a good idea. Yeah.
I have this one friend whose statement is always, you broke up for a reason. Ever think about it? You broke up for a reason. I think about it.
Mm-hmm. All right then. And which also now we go back to another train of thought that we had earlier. If Kawaii was willing to give Dante another chance and you know, go on a date with him in high school, what happened to Brendan?
Brendan! Ugh, Kawaii Chan and Brendan would have been so much fun though.
Honestly, yes. Because like Kawaii-chan just being like her usual like bundle of energy and possibly like a little bit too like overly key and affectionate would very hilariously contrast Brendan being flustered at literally everything. Honestly, yeah, I want that AU now.
Told you he was no threat.
Don't you two start with me!
For my theory, because I for some reason shipped Brendan and Emmeline, and I couldn't remember why. So I just had to go double check.
Did you perhaps mistake Brendan for Kenma?
No.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Brendan wasn't Kenma, but why did I ship Brendan with Emmeline? Because Emmeline liked Brendan originally, before Kenma existed.
Oh, okay. That I've forgotten, actually.
Yeah, so he liked Kawaii-chan, but Emmeline liked him.
Oh, okay then.
And I was like, I feel like Kawaii-chan's a lesbian, so...
Was that your theory in Diaries?
I liked Kawaii-chan and Lucinda.
Okay. Interesting, considering that was where they were bitter rivals, but okay. The whole magics versus witchcraft thing, that was like briefly addressed in MyStreet, where they like talk about like how they had a maid cafe together in one episode, and that's why there was the excuse for their rivalry in this one. But really the whole like Kawaii-chan hating Lucinda thing, that was just exclusively season 1 of Diaries. So... that kind of means that you did the same thing that Kawaii-chan herself did to Aphmau and Aaron in Phoenix Drop High. God, maybe it wasn't such a bizarre thing after all. Clearly it's a repeated pattern with people.
So is shipping shrines.
Yeah, this is nothing that surprised me, because I thought, in all honesty, because again, this was my introduction to like shipping as a concept in general, really. Because no other show addressed it like so blatantly, obviously. But also I just didn't even know what it was as a concept before I saw MyStreet, and just the I saw like a couple of like
in middle school I had a shrine to fairy tale ships. I had an entire shrine to fairy tale in Minecraft with one of my best friends.
Okay, in Minecraft, fair enough. But also,
well,
but so
where were we gonna put that? We didn't have a shared house.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't know about because I didn't know about shipping until this series. The idea of someone making a shrine to one of them was already even more foreign concept. I thought like, oh, okay, that's just Kawaii Chan taking it to like the next level. What's the most absurd thing that somebody could do if like it really fully absorbs them? It's like, oh wait, no, I found out many years later that was a thing people actually did. I think you might have told me about that actually, that people did that in real life.
I have never seen one in real life. People did that in video games. People did that in their imaginary houses. Mainly because oftentimes it was like teenagers.
Yeah.
And like that's not something you usually have the means to do.
I think also that since she was meant to be like a yandere character, I remember that some like famous yanderes had like a shrine to their senpai specifically. So I guess like yandere by proxy should have a shrine to the ship. Like, okay, fine, I can see the logic from her perspective and no one else's. But no, apparently, yeah, there are other people. All right then. Again, I learned a lot from this series that I probably wish that I didn't, ultimately speaking, but there you go.
Whatever. We gotta go unpack.
Speaking of shipping, Kawaii Chan has to go set up her, be back and don't follow, especially you, Aphmau-senpai!
And yes, that was the foreshadowing line in the original version. That was in both of them. So we got something.
I love Kawaii Chan. Not actually. I found her really annoying at the beginning.
I mean, I found her annoying. Yeah, because honestly, like she became like much more of like a bombastic handful as we got more of a handle of the character. So the fact that she was like introduced like slowly to people,
I liked her a lot in Diaries, and she was quite different in MyStreet.
Yeah, well, I mean, she also appeared far less in Diaries.
Yeah, but she was like an eccentric magics user, and she was. I just thought I really liked that.
Okay. Fair enough. I just realized as well, you know the fact you said like they thought that Kawaii Chan was a lesbian? I just realized Kawaii Chan doesn't have like any lesbian ships to my knowledge. Or if she does, she hasn't like mentioned them out loud. Which makes me wonder, does Kawaii Chan take into account the sexualities of her friends in order to like ship them with people? Is that something that she actually like takes concern over? Or because of the way that her friends like would interact around like, you know,
I think she does take that into consideration solely because she makes ships that she thinks are possible. She makes ships that she wants to push. She's like, these two people would be perfect for each other. And part of being perfect for each other is ability to be attracted to each other.
Yeah, I'm sure that if she found out who Tiani was secretly seeing in Phoenix Drop High, then she would have definitely focused on that. Which makes sense to why Tiani was...
Was Tiani actually seeing Ivy in high school? Because I thought they got together in France. Kind of.
Okay, first of all, I don't remember recall them getting together. Actually, that wasn't stated. They were friends, you know, roommates potentially, but again, whether they were roommates or roommates is a whole other matter that they never blatantly say.
So maybe I just assumed they were together.
Which, honestly, yeah, again, is another thing that I can potentially see based on what we learned in that one episode. But
I kind of assumed they got together in France.
I mean, if all the places to do it, you know, City of Love and all that. So, yeah, okay.
But wait, who was she seeing in high school?
Well, I don't think we ever actually met the person. I thought it was implied that she was seeing someone, or potentially that she was implied she had like at least a crush on somebody, but never actually stated who it was. Honestly, if she was had an implied crush, it was probably Aphmau because of the whole everyone's love with Aphmau thing. But that was never stated. She did call her cute a couple of times.
Cute. Yeah, but that was definitely more of the "you're my underclassman" kind of like.
Yeah,
I've adopted you, cutie.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
I could totally see her of liking Caitlyn.
Yeah, I guess the whole like your like nerd versus jock dichotomy there.
Specific?
Well, I thought she played softball.
Did you? I'm not sure. I remember that she was like mostly like all about studies, like relatively speaking.
She was, but I thought she played softball. Aphmau. I don't know how to spell Tiani. Tiani?
Yeah, Teony.
Definitely not how I spelled it. Tiani.
That makes sense too, but yeah, no, not this time. Remember, this is the same person who spelled Ian as EIN, so you know.
She's a member of the volleyball club.
Oh, okay. Which is also the thing that Caitlyn's on, so alright, fine, that gives credence to it.
Kawaii Chan.
Softball, I have no clue.
I don't remember softball being mentioned, actually, in Phoenix Drop High.
Expect anything less than weird? Anyway, I'm gonna go continue to fix up my room. Good luck with these guys.
Alright, you can just leave me here with these guys.
Run!
Again.
Whoa!
Lawrence?
Like, she does confront all of them in the original version, but she does it in more of a sense of, like, I'm quietly annoyed versus, like, outright. I prefer this way. This is what Aiden was saying as far as, like, Aphmau being quick to anger. So, even if she did, in fact, lose that over time, which, again, people mellow out when they grow up anyway, but, like, even if she did lose that over time, she got it back. At least for this.
Now, we can explain. You see, since you were moving here, we decided to move as well. This place just so happened to catch our eye, so we moved here. We had no idea you were moving here as well.
Lawrence, look me in the eyes. Are you lying to me?
Again, they have to acknowledge the big move happened, or otherwise this would not have been... I know what that means, Maya. I know what that means. Yeah, so otherwise this lie doesn't make any sense, because, so again, the reaction of like, should I steal our Aphmau? I was like, yes he is, you were there at that point after you found the address. Because the reason they invited Dante was because they found out that the address that the place where they moved to was too expensive, so they needed a third person. So yes, it follows that they know why Dante is there. Anyway.
A lie to you? No, never. I mean, you know what? Garth can answer that. Garth?
Garth, did you guys find out?
And yep, there was a meet before. Which, by the way, got Aphmau to, like, actually laugh in the original version, like, the actual creator Aphmau. Just forgot she put that in.
That I was moving here and decide to move in as well?
Yeah!
Oh, maybe Jason wrote all the prompts, actually. That might have been how they did that. Well, no, Jess wrote the series. I don't know.
No! Dante was the one who moved us here because he set up the viewing this morning. Yeah, that's it. Go talk to him.
Gareth! I swear, these guys are just... Yeah. Dante, hey, come here.
This is why we went...
Why, hello there, baby.
Hit him.
I like the implication that that while he was like climbing down from the van, after saying hello, baby, he actually went down, he looked down, jumped down from the van, turned around, and the two face all were wearing that face, so just going.
It sounded also like he walked downstairs, the stairs that don't exist.
That was like the metal floor, like, you know, readjusting, but yeah, maybe.
Doing with your face.
I'm just admiring your beauty from here.
Yeah, from here, as in from right in front of her, you mean? Because originally he was just he didn't move because of course the whole like, you know, dialogue thing. But now that he's moved, I was like, you could just say just admiring your beauty or something like.
Say, do you need any help moving into your new place? I'm twice as strong as Garth and Lawrence combined.
Which once again we know isn't true anymore. However, that does kind of like connect to the way that like Aphmau was saying like, oh, I can outlift you any day to Aaron, you know. Potentially it seems that this is a thing. Apparently how much you can, how much you can lift definitely has an implication in this universe.
They're all like teenage boys.
Yeah.
No thanks. But I gotta ask, did you really find this place on your own?
I did. You know why? Because I wanted to be next to the most beautiful girl in the world.
This is another thing as well that, you know, Dante will just like cover, even if it'd be cool under pressure and I guess he come up with something, even when Gareth and Lawrence are crumbling.
Dog Celestia?
You can't be.
This was the other time that the pet movers were mentioned, the dog movers. So again, that got taken out this time. So you could take it out again in the original version, because the only other time it comes up would have been here. You know, it's like, oh, so it's not here, of course. So that's why, again, so she said that originally.
That dumb.
She also called the dog Celesti, and that point it's not Celestia. Which, by the way, so it is spelled Celesti, but it's pronounced Celestia all the time, which I never got until I found out there was a character called Celestia in My Little Pony, because again, didn't know anything about that.
Never mind. Yes, I wanted to be next to your dog. Sheesh. But you know what? I find it cute that you're so cute.
That made no sense.
And again, the implication before was that he was crumbling at this point. He was meant to be like flustered originally. Just like, yeah, I want to be close to your dog. Yeah, I find it cute that you're so cute. Like he just had no idea what to say there.
Yes.
But I feel like this is more Dante.
Yeah, this is more Dante for sure.
An empty stomach. You know what? I give up for today. But you will be mine, Lady Aphmau.
That's more Dante. He didn't say that before.
Ew.
See you around, neighbor.
He goes inside with nothing. He is not making any progress with moving in.
Yeah, exactly. What?
What? What even happened? I swear, everyone's just acting super weird today.
Also, the girls need no help. Caitlin is moving in with them, and all of those boys should know that.
Well, yes, but and also Kawaii Chan. Because I will never not remind people of this, but another scene in The Big Move, when they find out about the Aaron photo, because they work through Kawaii Chan's phone, Garth and Lawrence do, to try and find the address, they find the screensaver that she took of when Aphmau and Aaron ate a cheesecake together with only one spoon. And one of Kawaii Chan's many photos in the original version, time we saw that she got into shipping. But Kawaii Chan finds out about that, and the OG voice actor for Kawaii Chan, you know, Stock Leopard number 52, comes in and actually and the implication was that, you know, Kawaii Chan just like beat up Gareth and Lawrence, which I know Aiden mentions every time I bring this up, that yes, like canonically speaking, Gareth would definitely not like be affected by that.
Kill Caitlin, kill Kawaii Chan.
Yeah,
not intentionally, but I'm saying like if they actually full on.
Well, yeah, because he once punched a guy and sent him flying in Falcon University. So yes.
Yes, but I also think that he is really afraid of his own strength because of that incident, which is my argument for his personality switches.
Yeah, potentially, but also because of the fact that he like actually seems like bruised and battered. Because he also got good resistance. He actually seems like as bruised and battered as Lawrence was. So again, it just like implies to me that Mifwa strength supersedes that of Forever Potion strength boost at all. So again, Kawaii Chan is actually should be on like a different level compared to even Caitlin by that rule.
I think Gareth was tanking hits. I would deem Gareth tanking hits because he's afraid to fight back. Maybe. Also because Kawaii Chan is their friend, and I don't think they would have wanted to fight her.
Yeah, although I guess Kawaii Chan could also be a bit like Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, where she just has like random like rage boosts so that increase her power exponentially.
Or but the fact is, you know, she realistic version is when you're in a high like an intense situation and you get an adrenaline rush that allows you to do things that you would not normally be capable of.
Yeah, that does include lifting things in a lot of
yes,
in a lot
exactly,
of cases.
Like mothers who will lift a car for their kid.
Yeah.
Which is an insane thing, in my opinion, but
absolutely,
it has been it's been on the news before.
Yeah, I do. Oh wait, I just remembered something. Another like rage boost that Kawaii Chan had was in Side Stories, where where like well, because like they got Dante Charles like messing with her. Caitlyn like kicks them out of the house, and then she's like yelling at them, and then immediately Kawaii Chan goes like a rage spree, knocks Caitlyn to the floor, and proceeds to chase the pair of them away. So basically, the Kawaii Chan's latent strength was not just a thing in the big move; it came up after this. It came up before and after this video is set. So basically, like Gareth and Lawrence and Dante would eventually know this. Know that Kawaii Chan also has like latent strength she can at least tap into. Whether or not they know it's tied to adrenaline is another matter, but, you know, as far as they're concerned, they probably should have their bases covered. But again, as far as they want to get in Aphmau's good graces or more than they already are. So.
Well, I don't think the other two offered. It was just Dante. So Dante being unaware of Kawaii Chan's strength is reasonable. However, Dante being unaware of Caitlyn's strength when he is friends with Travis and she knocks Travis into a mountain there, like, during high school.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know if they were friends at the time, but I feel like Travis would have at least mentioned that once.
You know something, actually, in the episode we found out that Dante like dated two girls, and they said like, oh no, there they are, and both Kawaii Chan and Nicole like growl at him. Actually, he was afraid of both of them seemingly, so maybe he did know. Maybe Kawaii Chan might have not taken the cheating as lightly as he implied. At least back then. You never know.
Speaking of empty stomach, I think I could go for that pizza right about now. Kawaii-chan! Caitlyn! It's quiet. They downstairs, maybe?
I got the spot as ominous immediately, but before it was just another exploration event.
I don't like basements.
No, my favorite either.
Let's see. What's this
Haven't
over?
been in many, but you know.
Oh my! What the? What?
With brand new art as well.
What the heck is this? Aaron and me?
Okay, but how the fuck? How in the world did she get that
picture
picture on the beanbag or carpet? Like, that looks like it happened in like somebody's bedroom, and I know her bedroom was on the second floor, and I'm pretty sure his bedroom was not on the first floor. Therefore, actually,
my other question is how did Kawaii Chan find an artist that knew what Aaron looked like without his mask on? Also, bearing in mind, like just realized like what clothes they'd be wearing at this point too.
Well, no, my thought process was that these are supposed to be quote unquote pictures.
Then, well, I mean, in the original version, like in episode 2, Kawaii Chan states that she thought that was like the Zane at the door was an artist that she had commissioned for art for the shipping shrine. So this is definitely drawings that she has, and also one like figurine set.
Yeah, the figurine was pretty cool in my opinion.
Yes, but also, like, how do you manage to customize that order? It's like, here are my two friends, make figurines out of them. Yeah.
A wedding present?
Maybe? She sent the photo with the spoon! She sent the spoon photo so that way they would think that they were a couple so it wouldn't be weird. There you go.
Yeah. But it would have been commissioned by now?
Yeah, I think that was... yeah, they had, like, the whole apology date thing in episode 2, which also, another iconic scene, by the way, the one where Gareth throws a fish on the table and they try to get a bunch of wild cats to chase them, or ocelots to chase Aaron away. And that didn't work out. But yeah, that was episode 2, so any time from... Oh, wait, no, it was still the same day, wasn't it? I don't think they moved, like, the next day afterwards, so he was still, like, packing at this point, so I don't think, yeah.
Do you like it, Aphmau-senpai? This is where I come to give my sacrifices to my ship! What? Sacrifices?
Yeah, so this is the part where, in the original, she just says to give strength to the ship, because we're about to get a thing that, once again, edit-wise, you know, would be far more difficult to pull off back in the day. That's why I shouldn't say sacrifices there. However, also, this is the reason why I played the original first, because if you play the original after this, it's very underwhelming, because as Aiden implied, we're about to get to something that, oh boy, elevates this to yet another level that you didn't think possible at the time. It was already bizarre enough when we saw it originally, and now it's like, oh, this is what was supposed to be the whole time? Oh, good lord. And here we go. What sacrifice?
No! Senpai! Say goodbye!
The Levi! No!
No! Poster stuff Senpai to belong on the floor!
Yeah, I for some reason, like, I never got what she said with there for like a long time, so it toppled over on the floor. So it was like, poster Senpai tumbled all over the floor! I wasn't quite sure originally. But also, like, okay, a few other things. For some reason, I remembered the poster, like, being set on fire when I first saw it. That's not what happens. But for some reason, that was in my mind until I rewatched it. I don't get it. But also, like, this is just what she calls a sacrifice, just toppling a poster on the floor that's going to get picked up later. That's it. And then on top of this, you see, like, this visual here, it looks like Aphmel's, like, holding the poster, like, cradling it, like someone, like, crave, like, a dead body, something like, no! Like, that kind of thing, like, holding it in her arms. Except, when you cut to this angle, she's just holding up her hands like this and looking down. And that's it. No! It kind of ruins it that they didn't change the model on the poster or anything. And yeah, the Kawaii Chan laugh, absolutely far better. So yeah, I would have shown that second.
Aphmel?
I'm having second thoughts about asking Kawaii Chan to room with us.
I was about to ask. What happened?
She manhandled my poster!
You mean your 2D boyfriend?
Great line. Okay. Not what is originally, but
looks
I love it.
Perfectly fine.
That's not the point! She put it
Yeah, it looks perfectly fine, exactly. I don't know why I thought it was on fire for some reason.
on the
I was thinking of the cigarettes, that's why.
floor as a sacrifice to her stupid ship and shrine!
I told you not to let her ship you like that. But you normally don't seem to care when she does that.
Yeah, because it happened so frequently before this. You know, by things up high logic, but not by big move logic.
I wasn't living with her until now.
Aww.
That implied she had a different shipping shrine back in her old place. Oh, but no, we saw her old place in its almost entirety, so yeah. I feel like Garthalons would have found that if that were the case. Maybe she had one back in high school, potentially. Or in a college dorm, oh no.
Do you need a bedtime story?
At lunch?
I mean, it's only 5 p.m., but yeah, I could use a nap.
Also, I always love the way she's like nap or something like that. But also, yeah, so in the original version,
outside.
Yeah, okay, so the original version, the room, like, didn't have, like, obvious windows when she said that. So it wasn't so obvious it was a broad daylight, so that's probably why they changed it.
Alright. Ahem. Once upon a time, there was a princess named Aphmel.
Oh, this sounds like it's gonna be a nice story.
And a knight named Aaron.
No! No shipping!
No painless.
I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you.
Oh, and then all the other didn't make it in.
Sounds like a fool 'cause when you
We're not gonna run out anymore. We're not gonna run out ever. Wait, hold on. That was the So Meet Again thing. That was that was this episode. Did people get like a sneak peek of this series just so they could do the shipping shrine stuff?
I'm trying to do is say I love you.
I mean,
yeah.
the Galaxy,
You don't know how I ship.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to post that. Alright. Well, At last we got to talk about the remake. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, like, this is definitely the better version. There are some things that I prefer in the original, but there are, like, few and far between. Almost everything else is like, well, this is why it doesn't feel different to me. It doesn't feel like this replaces the old one as far as, like, on a continuity level, because like it keeps almost everything that was in there. It takes out some of the improv scenes that no one really cared about to begin with. And it replaces them with again, some of the other Easter eggs, which again, some of them work, some of them don't. But ultimately it is all much more like tightly paced and character packed, and a lot of the stuff that we thought was already bizarre enough that we didn't know was limited suddenly became far more unhinged than we possibly imagined before. And it's like it's almost like a second wave of getting that same like shock reaction to seeing the original episode when you're not sure what entirely to expect going into it. And the two specific examples, of course, shipping shot at the end, but also Poster Senpai. That scene particularly, another underrated one, honestly. One that could have been a contender for at least like an honorable mention as far as like top MyStreet moments, if again they did take the remake into account. So there you have it. But yeah, obviously the drawback of this is the continuity errors, like with Zane's appearance, for example, which again, I understand why they did that, but I don't know. Aaron's appearance, again, don't mind so much because that was like never, that doesn't replace anything. It doesn't replace anything because it didn't happen later in the series. Not like they have another scene where she falls out of a, out of a moving vehicle, because why would they? So, yeah. Does make Aphmau somewhat dumber in this version by falling out like that from with a laptop like an idiot, but there you go.
Who cares?
Well, she would have done if Aaron weren't there, If she'd have a broken spine, a broken laptop, and neither one she wants to deal with.
It would give her time off of work.
Ah, yes, the time off of work, the job that she clearly is embarrassed to have in the first place. Like, my goodness. So I guess they lean into like the adult joke side of that reference as well, because obviously they're not doing the FNAF thing anymore. That never played out, so they doubled down the adult one, which again, it could be either one, but I still would love like a concrete answer. I actually considered many years ago making a theory about that, but there was just not much to go on. Because, I mean, it's like, yes, you sort of like every single type of job of like a night shift of some kind, or potentially, what kind of price would the rent properties go for? It's like, I mean, I like doing Aphmau theories, but I'm not MatPat. I'm not doing that level of intricate detail, At some point, it loses its charm for me. That being said, I did look into Mesopotamian mythology in order to do the Truth About Lilith video, so I guess sometimes I make exceptions. But so yeah, I guess if someone can, I think actually, the remake is great for people who have already seen the original version. If someone were to start off watching MyStreet, I would definitely say, out of the two versions, watch MyStreet first. I was gonna say watch the original first, but then I realized, wait a minute, if I say first, then I'm neglecting Big Move, and I've already made a whole video about the order to watch MyStreet in. That was
I think you can replace
classics.
The first episode, the original, with the remake. Like, you don't get the comparison,
I mean, yeah,
but I feel like there's nothing
person going into it, then you're gonna have to deal with double Zane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's so much.
I mean. So for new people, I suggest watching the original first. But for people coming back to this series like we are, I think the remake is the ideal way to go. So I guess that's why it's good the original's still making the same waves per year that it does, so that it's still clearly drawing people in, or at the very least people are coming back and watching that version, but at least that means it's probably going to recommend to more people as well, so they're getting the ideal start, I think, because then, also if you start by that point, it's uphill from there. That's the other issue with remakes that you have. Another reason I was hesitant to start doing them for Mutant Girl, actually, was because I knew that as soon as the moment I started making them, the original quality of the series would, like, nosedive immediately upon, like, whenever the last one was completed. And especially now that, those happen once a year, my skills improve every year, so it's going to be more of a contrast every single time it happens. So that was something that I had to, contend with. I haven't seen anyone go through like a whole like reaction series to the Mutant Girl on camera, at least, starting from the remakes and then having like being like jump scared by at this point episode 7. It's bound to happen at some point, but you never know. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, like the moment the time that I dread is actually next year, because next year after I remake episode 7, that means I have to wait a whole year to remake episode 8 in its entirety, which means that 8 Part 2 will still be the version people are going to see, the only version of that, and that's by far the worst episode of Mutant Girl. So that's
What if you didn't wait?
Yeah, what if I didn't wait, except for the fact that it only takes long enough to make an actual new episode of Mutant Girl, and that's my third major concern for remakes particularly. Again, people seem to enjoy those, and and people are willing to wait that time, but again, it's not something that I take for granted. It's kind of like with Aphmau in the sense of like, as soon as like the series increased in quality to such a degree that she wasn't able to do more than one episode like every few months, basically, and like took an entire year for a season to come out, then she felt guilty the entire time because because she was laying down people, even though everyone said they were willing to wait. And now on some like micro level, I've seen that with Mutant Girl, and yeah, I get it more. Though I was saying before, it's like, yeah, it's one of the things I bear in mind. Is like I don't want to ever feel like I'm at that point where it's like, this is just, terrible on my part, because again, the fact people are willing to wait is good, but again, it's something like I don't want to put all of my eggs into like the remake basket, because then I'll just be like, well, at some point I'll catch up the original series, and then I've eclipsed that, and then what else is there to remake as well is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I guess now, Aphmau's logic has changed, because after so many years of, the modern stuff happening, now she's announced, actually one last time, which is supposed to come out like mid-2025, so she's announced something that's coming out in a longer period of time from when it was announced to Season 6's, runtime, so that's...
Guess what?
That's a good evolution. Yeah?
I'll have graduated by then, and I'll have a bunch of time.
Fair enough, then. So I guess we'll get that
I can
experience.
watch that as it comes out.
Fair enough,
I'm
then.
low-key not that upset that MyStreet took as long of a break as it did, because that gave me time to basically get through college and the end of high school. Or when did it stop? The beginning of high school when it stopped? I was in high school in like... In the world was I in high school?
If you type in the new house, the title of this video, actually, the third thing that appears is actually it's not called the new house. It's like a parody of it, actually. So again, the thumbnail's the same, different characters on there. I forget what it's called exactly. But if we type in the new house MyStreet, oh yeah, it's the new home MyStreet, the parody episode 1, which was made 1 month ago by Scorpio, apparently. So it's based off the remake, apparently. You know what? Maybe that's something for us to talk about sometime soon. Let's see how the remake got parodied. We're gonna go from comparing it to the original to comparing once again another.
Oh, we're going to another satirical take of something. Oh god!
Oh my goodness, yes.
Double satire.
Yeah. All right, but we'll do that some other day. This is a good time to wrap things up. For sure. So, please leave a like, or just like, because your opinion match got done already. Sorry we rambled on for ages at the end of this one here. And on that
at
note,
one point and does a random separate video of the ramble.
I mean, I could honestly, you know, if I end up like editing this out or something, then people will know there's a different video that was supposed to be in between this portion, and they're waiting for it sometime soon. But fair enough, I guess, yeah. Either way, the outro is, please if I just take your opinion already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.